Yo, yo, yo. How's
That's
everybody living today?
doing good, doing good.
Yo,
Doing,
we Gucci, we Gucci.
doing
Okay,
well.
okay. So I'm gonna just go around right quick. I'm gonna introduce everybody to everybody so the chat can know you guys. We got some new faces up here. We got some familiar faces, but we got still got the same entertaining content, and we still gonna bring it to you how we would bring it to you any other time. Uh, everybody, is the audio good? Can y'all hear everybody? Is all of that good? You guys let us know, and we'll continue to rock. Yo, my man Farrell, what's good with you?
What's good?
Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. I'm sure you could do it better than I can. Tell them your socials and tell them what you about.
Yes, sir. I'm Farrell. My TikTok at is YaoVs. I'm a low-key small creator. I only got like 2,000 followers, but high quality content. You feel me? But yeah, just here to talk basketball and shit.
Got you, got you. Yo, Ryan, how you
What's
living
up,
today?
guys? What's up, guys? I'm Ryan. TikTok at it's hendog underscore. Small creator myself, but I dabble in NBA stories, discussions, laid back content for you guys to enjoy. Been a basketball fan my whole life, and I'm excited for today's episode.
Got you. Jeremiah, what's good, bro?
Yo, what's going on? I'm Smart Takes. I got about 50K on TikTok, something like that. Super diehard NBA fan, been an NBA fan my whole life. Ready to bust y'all up today. So let's get to it.
Y'all heard it. My man's only giving smart takes, and apparently he's about to win the show. So that's the first prediction of the day. T-Net,
What's
what's
up,
good, bro?
y'all? It's Teen Up. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch at TeenUp418. Trying to build on Twitch actually. I played Division 3 basketball for 2 years and just glad to be here. Let's have a good show.
For sure, for sure. What's the best part of your game?
Defense.
Defense?
Yeah, I was one of those
Okay.
guys.
Okay, so when when they come at you with stupid takes, that means you're gonna be you don't know how to defend them.
We'll see.
Got you, got you. Hey, Mars, uh, somebody left you a comment in there. Jeremy Conley, he got something to say to you, but how you doing today?
Yeah, I saw that comment. Love is
Yo,
love.
the Martians out here wilding
Yeah,
early.
I don't know about that one, but yeah, I'm Mars. Obviously, nice to meet you guys, but everyone in the chat, you guys should know me. And top left, I'm gonna do it proud.
ZZ Honcho.
It's good. Y'all know who I am. I'm ZZ Huncho on TikTok, just like that. On Instagram, ZZ.Huncho, just like that. Been a regular on Player's Choice for a few. Had some very iconic moments on this podcast. Look to have more today. Mars may be top left, but ZZ Huncho don't give a fuck about that. So let's go.
Yes, sir. ZZ, you done for sure have some classic moments. I know you're gonna build on a couple more today. I'm assuming that you will be the one that goes viral today,
Oh
but I
God.
guess I guess only time will tell. Hey, that it could be a bad thing, but it's more than
I,
likely a good
I
thing.
don't I don't give a no. I don't give no fucks.
Okay, let's get to it then. Hey, before we jumped live, we were all talking about our MVP candidates. I just want to go around the room right quick, and I want you guys to tell me who's your MVP and why that's your MVP. So I'm gonna go in the same order. Farrell, who you got?
I got Jokic. I just feel like he's the most valuable when it comes to it because like his supporting cast is pretty much garbage, and like you remove him, they're not a playoff team. And the fact that he was able to lead them to the playoffs in a harder Western Conference and take a game from the Warriors, I feel like that right there kind of solidifies his MVP case. So yeah.
It's definitely valid. Ryan, where you at with it?
I got Joel Embiid, scoring champ this season, two-way threat. To see what he did with the Sixers, especially with Ben Simmons out for a majority of the year, the way he was able to carry that Sixers team, I think he was in the running last year, and I think he took a leap this year and is deserving of the MVP.
Got you, got you. Jeremiah, who deserves the trophy?
Uh, Definitely Jokic. I actually thought it was a Jokic pretty clear to me. I think when you stack up his season, even historically against other MVPs, he's near the top. And then if you're gonna take the word valuable any type of serious, I think he was the most valuable player to his team by far. So
So you're gonna be surprised if anybody else gets it.
I'll be really surprised. To me, it's not super close.
Got you, got you. T-Nut,
I think for the past 2 years, the MVP in the league has been Embiid. I think he should have got it last year due to some things that happened. He didn't. This year, I think is definitely him. He's the most dominant player in the league. I feel like, especially when you're watching him play on the court, both on offense and defense. He controls the game at his pace. I think Embiid is definitely MVP this year.
Okay. Mr. Mars.
I'd give it to Giannis because I think if we're gonna go off the precedent of the award, I think it's always gone to teams who are top three in their conference, best player on one of the best teams, that sort of thing. And if we're gonna change it up, I see why Jokic would get it. I understand that, but to me, it would just be like a Russell Westbrook award again, and I didn't like that one, and I'm kind of going to be against this one as well. But I think he'll get it.
Where you at, ZZ?
I think it's going to go to Jokic. Personally, I'm with Mars. I think that Giannis should definitely get it, even though people are talking about voters fatigue and all of that. I mean, between Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic, in terms of who the better two-way player is, in terms of who the better playoff performer is, I mean, I think it's Giannis. But Jokic averaged 27, 14, and 8 this year. And in the playoffs, he averaged 31 against the Warriors. So, I mean, that's going to help his case a little bit more, especially like down the stretch. But Jokic is definitely going to get it. And in 20 years, NBA fans are going to look back on Jokic's 2 MVPs. The first one where he got swept, the second one where he got a gentleman's sweep. And then they're going to say that Jokic is one of the most overrated MVPs of all time. I'm calling it. That's what the NBA fan base is probably going to say in 10 to 20 years, looking back.
And I don't disagree with you on that. But since it's a regular season award, you know, it's not the MVP of the playoffs, it's the MVP of the regular season. How much weight does that hold, ZZ?
I mean, I understand that, but when we look, the way I look at the greatest like MVPs of all time, we just talked about it before the show. LeBron's got 4, Jordan's got 5, Kareem's got 6. Those guys were clearly like the best players in the league, and throughout their years, like every time Jordan won, majority of the time Jordan won, he went to the finals, at least the conference finals. LeBron, same thing. Kareem, like that's how I viewed the MVP award growing up, is this prestigious award. Not necessarily knowing that it's regular season, I understand it, but in terms of like you're looking at best player, all of these things, greatness, it's just like you said, since 2017 when Russ won it, the awards kind of the criteria shifted like every season. Whether you're the most valuable, you're the best, you have the best performance, or your team is top 3. It's just changed over and over and over.
So you think it's the most stat padding award? That's what it is, the most valuable stat padder?
No, I just think it's you gotta. It's all about the context. Like you said, Jokic's team is ass compared to what Joel and Giannis's is, and it is impressive that throughout having PTSD and Jordan Poole going crazy and Steph going off the bench, Jokic still got one. So he's definitely he's. I mean, I looked at the MVP numbers or the voting numbers. He's definitely like up there. He's probably going to get it. Now, I think it should be Giannis based off of he's simply the better player, Finals MVP, still best two-way player in the game. We'll see what happens when Kawhi gets back. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
I just don't think playoff success. Like, I get what you're saying that playoff success does have a role in the play, but Kareem won an MVP without making the playoffs. I know LeBron's had some meltdowns with the Cavs when he won. So I get what you're saying that people are probably gonna look back on Jokic's award like they do with Steve Nash, like they do with Derrick Rose, but just it's based on what they do in the regular season. And yeah, Jokic, they lost in 5, then got swept the year before, but that really shouldn't play into part in who's the MVP because it's a regular season war in the end.
So do you think that next year, say like, oh my bad, Jeremiah, go ahead, bro.
No. You had said something earlier about how 20, 30 years down the road, people will look back on Jokic as MVPs and not think they're that great. I think people do that with Steve Nash as MVPs right now. And I actually will fight against that. I'm one of the few who think Steve Nash deserved both those MVPs. And I think especially like the first year, obviously the Suns way overachieved. Steve Nash was the best player on that team by far. They were the best team in the league. But then that second year, people don't remember this, but that second year is the year Amari got injured. And so that's why Steve ended up winning back-to-back, because they still won like 50-plus games with no Amari. And that's the same situation with Jokic, where it's like year 1, he had a squad. They were top 3, top 4 in the West. Okay, year 2, nobody's expecting anything because second best player injured, third best player injured, and then he come right back, win another 50 games. They only won 3 less games than the Sixers. So if you want to make the Joel Embiid argument, I just feel like I agree with you that people are going to do that 20, 30 years from now. I'm going to disagree, just like with people doing it with Nash. I would disagree with that too.
I feel like people
chat,
forget.
you guys let us know in the chat who you guys think's the MVP. Go ahead, bro.
I feel like people forget that team success, it plays a role in MVP. It changed, but I feel like it needs to go back to being that, because I believe when Steve Nash won that, I think people felt like Kobe should have won one, but the Lakers had like a bad season that year. I feel like the record was nowhere close to what the Suns were doing. And the point with the Nuggets and the 76ers being close in record, it also has to play with like the conference they're playing in, because you play more games in your conference. And I feel like this year, especially, the East was a more competitive conference. So I feel like the tougher conference, because the West is top heavy. They got the Suns that was just wiping through teams. In the East, 76ers was like fighting the Bucks, the Heat, the Nets all throughout the season. Half of it, more than half of it, without Harden, and Embiid was the person who was carrying them on his back. Yeah, Maxey showed up and he showed out, but like we said, nobody expected that. It was really Embiid who was carrying the load on offense and defense that we see now in the playoffs. Everybody questioning if they even stand a chance against the Heat, because I think he fractured his orbital. But it's like, with Jokic, I see where people are coming from, but I think it's clear cut for me.
Well, like going back to Jeremiah's point of like when we're talking about Steve Nash and the Suns, like back in 2006, that was the year you're talking about where he lost to Murray, right? Mm-hmm. So this is how weird the MVP criteria has been to me. It's just been asked backwards for years, or they just switch it up over time. The Suns back then were the 2 seed, right? Nash was, averaging a double-double, points and assists or whatever. Kobe was averaging 35 a game. Kobe's team was the 7th seed. Kobe averaged 35 on like 45% from the field, 36 from 3, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward almost 10 years later, we get to 2017. Russ is averaging a triple-double, right? His team is what, the 6th seed or the 7th seed? One of the two. He nails that. I think it was the 6th. His team, he gets that MVP. Then we move forward again to this year. The Phoenix Suns are the best team in the NBA by far, the only team over 60 wins. So then Devin Booker, for some reason, like if this was back in 2006, I'm pretty sure D Book or Chris Paul would have been in MVP conversations if we're going back in time then, because that's just how the league would have looked at it. But D Book's averaging what, 26, 5, and 5, no MVP conversation, barely even top 5. But his team is clearly the better team. Jokic's team is clearly a team that is probably going to be first round, and that's about it. But he's going to get the MVP award, right? Why can't D Book get it? Why can't Chris Paul get it? Well, the MVP criteria has changed since 2006, because back in 2006, Kobe was carrying the load with his team. Now in 2022, Jokic is carrying the load with his team, putting up incredible numbers, all-time numbers. But Jokic is going to walk away with this MVP. Kobe didn't walk away with it. You see what I'm saying? MVP criteria always changes, and it's never just like something that we can simply look back and say, yeah, he's going to get it.
So what is the criteria? I want you guys to let me know what you think the criteria is. Also, if you're watching this, that means you probably like it. So can you probably hit the like button? Thank you, people. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to say, but like Devin Booker was not noticeably, but he was a tier below Jokic, Giannis, Embiid this season. Devin Booker, great season, fantastic season, but he wasn't a top 5 player. He was probably a borderline top 10 player. And so I know they had the best record in the league, and they were able to do it with Chris Paul missing games. They were without DeAndre Ayton, but he wasn't, putting up Jokic numbers or, Embiid numbers or Giannis numbers. He was good, but he wasn't like in that top 5, top 3 tier like Jokic was.
So nobody's for D-Book? Nobody thinks D-Book should get any type of consideration?
I think it should get consideration. To go back to your point there, like I feel like he should be in the top 4. as far as MVP vote. My top 4 would be Jokic, Embiid 2, Giannis 3, and Booker 4. Like if I had to vote in order. So I think he should get consideration. I get why he's not going to win it and why he's not really getting consideration right now, but I do think he should be in the conversation.
Yeah, he could be in the talks. I think I saw a stat where they said like the last 8 of the 9 MVPs had like a certain points per game average with winning success, and Devin Booker met all of that. So it seems like he should have been MVP if you're going back like the last couple of MVPs. But like we're saying, like every year is something different that we're looking for.
I think this season, when the Suns lost Chris Paul for what was it, like 10 games or whatever, before that stretch was about to happen, everybody was like, oh, what's D-Book going to do without Chris Paul? We're going to see really if Chris Paul is that valuable to the team. And D-Book led him to a winning record, averaging like 28-7 or something like that. But he was averaging really good numbers. And they were winning games without Chris Paul. So the Suns are a weird case, though, because even with D-Book out, Chris Paul, I mean, they lost the game. Chris Paul held him in and came in that game 6 and did his thing. But like I'm saying, the criteria just changes all of the time. And it doesn't, for me, it didn't make sense to me looking back this season and thinking about all the other seasons where certain teams have been ahead of the pack. And the star players of those teams don't get MVP nods. 2015, the Warriors, for example, they won 67 games. Steph was averaging, I think, 24 a game or something like that. He averaged less points than Rose did his MVP year back in 2015. But Steph won the MVP. Back then, everybody was like, well, why didn't James Harden get it? Because he was averaging like 28 a game. It's the Warriors, the criteria. It's just changed. Warriors had the best record back then.
Can somebody tell me the criteria?
I don't know what the criteria is.
Yeah, I don't know what the criteria is. But I feel like what Zizi's saying is like,
player, or you don't have anybody, or you're the most valuable to your team because they can't win without you. Like it's weird.
Go ahead, Farrell. What do you think the criteria?
I feel like what Zizi was saying is like the MVP award is like mad inconsistent now. Like one year it'll like the criteria will change from like, oh, this dude is carrying a bunch of bums. And then the next year it's like, oh, this dude's on the number 1 seed while averaging 25, 5 and 5. So he should get it. But I feel like the criteria changes depending on who we're talking about. So like when people wanted D-Book to win, the criteria was best team in the league, best player. But when Jokic is winning, it's like, oh, he's carrying and his team sucks without him, so he's the most valuable. So I feel like it's not necessarily the award itself that's inconsistent. It's just like we change the narrative depending on who we're talking about, which leads it to be inconsistent, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if people know this, but the NBA, like they came out with a memo. I think this was a few years ago when people were up in arms about it, about how like they purposely did not make any criteria for the MVP on purpose because they wanted like the voters to be able to have their own say or whatever. As far as what I think the MVP criteria should be, like to me, if we're gonna say most valuable player, then let's give it to the player who's the most valuable. Like, so for me personally, that's why I would pick Jokic. That's why I actually
define most valuable though.
So because to me, like, no. Yeah, okay. So to me, like, value is the number one thing that impacts value to me, or it is impact. So like, how much better is your team with you on the floor versus off? For example, as just like one metric that you can use to determine value. To me, the most valuable player to his team this year was pretty easily Jokic. If we're just talking about how much better was that team with Jokic on the floor versus off. In 2017, and let me defend the Russ MVP for a second here, because a lot of people don't like that MVP. I thought he should have won that. I'm glad he won that. I think he had, 43 triple doubles that year. My favorite stat from that year was in those games he was having triple doubles, the Thunder were like 33-10 or something like that. And then when he didn't have a triple double, obviously they were a lot the opposite. So for me, like that's what valuable means to me. Like valuable, like how much better is your team when you're on the floor? How much better is your team that you're on it versus when, if some random guy was on it or some other guy was on it?
I agree with Jeremiah on that with like the criteria, because like, for example, like John Morant, when he was like in the MVP discussion for a little bit, like his team was like, 20-2 without him or something like that? Or like they had a winning record without him. So it's like, if that's the criteria we're going to go off of, some people like Devin Booker, like no disrespect, he shouldn't be in the conversation because of this certain criteria, but then when we change the criteria, Jokic shouldn't be in it because his seed is too low. So it's like, if we can find like a definite criteria, then it will make choosing an MVP so much easier.
So let me ask you, get a definitive criteria, because it's, if you're saying the thing is value is different to certain people, because in a Giannis, you know, maybe while his on off numbers aren't as drastic as Jokic, his team's doing better and he's the best player. And if you're defining value, it's just so subjective, you're never gonna come down to some concrete if that's the basis of the criteria.
Yeah, you look back at 2018 too, like 2018 LeBron. I thought after, because that was back when they was doing the NBA awards. I don't know if they're still doing them. They should have never done them. But back when they were doing those, it was a little weird because like LeBron was out there doing his thing and looking like the greatest thing ever put on the basketball court. And I'm sitting here looking at the NBA awards after the playoffs, and I'm like, oh, LeBron's top three. It's him and I think it was him, Harden, and Giannis, if I'm not mistaken. But by that time, we were already talking about the previous year and how Russ was averaging a triple-double, but Harden had his team at a higher seed. So then Harden wins the award, and you're looking like, oh, well, LeBron literally carried the entire freaking state of Ohio to the finals. Like, what? And we can't give it to him because, okay, well, now it's Harden's turn, and LeBron's got 4. No, LeBron was clearly the most valuable player in 2018. Clearly.
I mean, I'm going to disagree. I think LeBron, especially in the regular season, like he flipped the switch that year. Like if you go back and watch that season, in the regular season, I didn't think he deserved to even be in the conversation. A lot, especially defensively, he was, you know, that was the year that people put that like video together that went viral of like a bunch of people like face cutting him or back cutting him, and he was just kind of standing around on the weak side. That was that year. I think he just flipped the switch in the playoffs, but like I didn't think he deserved to be the MVP in the regular season because he wasn't playing at the level he was playing. Now, come playoff time, obviously, you know, he did what he did in the playoffs. I think that's one of the greatest postseason runs ever. But yeah, I didn't think he deserved to be in the MVP conversation that year.
Fair.
No, that was Harden's award by far. But also that playoff run, I mean, it was amazing. Don't get me wrong, but the teams they played against, you had the young Pacers squad, which went to 7 against that team. The Raptors with DeMar, who they were good, but they weren't elite. And then the young Celtics. I mean, great individual performance. But if you look at the teams, the caliber, like if he went out west into that, I think it would be far more impressive than what he did in that Eastern Conference.
I still think it's impressive though. Like it's not like the teams were like bad. Like,
I mean, you play who's in front of you. Like I can't hold against him who he played. He got the 4-5 seed, so he played Indy in the first round. He beat them. Then he played Toronto, who were the 1 seed, and he swept them. Like we're saying, looking back on it, Toronto weren't that great, but you don't expect a 5 seed to sweep a 1 seed. Like no one expects that, and he dealt with them in comfortable fashion. That's why we look at it now and say, oh, he was meant to beat them, but he wasn't meant to beat them when the series started. But we just say that now because of how easy he made it look.
Yo, Mars, before we move on to the next segment, I actually got a question. Out of all 3 of these guys, so Joel averaged 30, 11, and 4. Jokic averaged 27, 13, and 8. And Giannis averaged 29.9. So let's just say 30, 11, and 5. Out of all 3 of these guys, who has the worst case to win MVP?
In my opinion, my third place would be Embiid. Because I think as a scorer, he led the league in scoring, but he's not as efficient as these other 2 guys. He scored a lot, like credit to him. Like I'm not going to try to hold it against him. He won the scoring title. I think people tend to overrate his defense a lot, which I don't like personally. I think he was more elite maybe the last 2 years than he was this year. I think he took a step back, which I understand you have to take more of an offensive load. So I'm not going to like hold that against him, but people do like to call Joel Embiid like a 2-way threat, the same level of Giannis, which I don't see at all. I think people like call Embiid like the best big man in the league, and I think it just comes from the fact that they like seeing centers who are more physically imposing. Like I don't see how you can watch Embiid and Jokic play and then think Embiid is a better basketball player. I don't want to sound like Dell. Maybe I'm doing a Dell impression here, but I just don't think
it sounds awfully minionish.
I just don't think you can watch them both play. And then like when people say Embiid's a clear better scorer than Jokic, I don't see how you see that based on the fact that he averaged maybe 3 more points. He was less efficient, and I don't want to hold free throws against someone, but when you're shooting 11 free throws a game and only scoring 3 more points, I can't say you're a clear better scorer than someone else.
Yo, T-Nup, I seen you scratching your head and shaking your head a little bit over there. Is there anything that you might want to go back at him about?
Because hearing all of that, I'm thinking to myself, what does Jokic do besides his passing ability? Take away passing, because that's what everybody
take away a big part of the game. Okay.
I mean, y'all want to take away free throws, so let's be.
I know. I said he averages 3 more points with 11 free throws a game.
And then you're gonna bring up his how effective he is on the court with his percentages, but when you're watching the game and like you see both of them on the court and who like takes over, and the amount of double teams you see thrown at Embiid and he still scores the ball in numerous ways is unbelievable. I see Jokic try and, get a bucket. I'm not saying he can't get a bucket, but it's way easier to stop Jokic than it is to stop Embiid. You can't stop him on the perimeter.
But you do know why teams can't send doubles at Jokic, right?
Because
there's a reason.
Such an amazing playmaker.
If you double Jokic, you're giving
like we saw it in Game 4 of the Warriors versus Nuggets. Like at the end of the game, they tried to like double Jokic. He kicked it out to, I think it was, I forgot who it was, but
it was
the dagger.
It was Will Barton.
And he hit the dagger. Like Joel Embiid's not doing that. Like I'm not saying it was like some phenomenal pass.
That's the
but
thing.
Like still, like Joel's not doing that.
He doesn't.
He passes it out.
He improved for sure. He was bad,
especially this year. And
to add some context to it, Embiid averages 4.2 assists. Jokic averages 7.9.
But Jokic is the primary ball handler and playmaker for that team. Embiid wasn't.
And that's another thing.
Yeah, he's the primary playmaker because he's good enough to be the primary playmaker.
Exactly.
They're not gonna, that's the reason why. They're not going to just give anyone the job of primary playmaker. He's shown he has that ability and talent to carry an offense as a primary playmaker and to still score just as much as damn near anybody and do it more efficiently. Like when you say take away playmaking, what does Jokic do better? He finishes at the rim more efficiently than Embiid. So whether Embiid dunks the ball more, Jokic is still more efficient around the rim. From mid-range, Jokic shoots a much higher percentage than Embiid. The only place Embiid shoots better from is from free. And so when we're looking at scoring ability, we're going to say Embiid's a better free throw shooter and 3-point shooter. Jokic is better from inside the lane. He's better in the mid-range.
That's taken away from Embiid's game because...
How's that taken away?
He's just not shooting free throws just because he's getting to the free throw line.
I said he's a better free throw shooter. There's no doubt.
But it's part of the game. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not angry at him for taking free throws. I just said Jokic is a better finisher and a better mid-range shooter. So when we say take away playmaking, he still does things better. It's not like he just passes the ball better. He's just a better player.
The fact that Embiid is able to get to the free throw line, that I feel like that even shows more of how more dominating he is on offense than Jokic.
I mean, I watched Jokic get hacked the whole Warriors series and not get to the line, so I'm not gonna say it's more dominant.
I wouldn't say he got hacked. I would say
he was
Draymond.
Of course, there's points where he looked like he got hacked. He did get hacked, but there was also a lot of points where Draymond just outsmarted him. We gotta give credit.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah,
but I feel like to go along with Mars's point, like when it comes down to like, let's say like the game's on the line, like, Embiid is going to try and get the bucket. Like that's what he's going to do. But when it's Jokic, you have to worry about he can either get the bucket or he's going to find an open teammate that's going to get the bucket. And in my opinion, what's more dangerous is somebody that can either score the bucket or pass it out to somebody who's going to get the bucket rather than somebody who's just going to get the bucket. Like it's like a LeBron KD comparison. Like LeBron's going to get the bucket or find the open teammate, but KD's like, he's going to take the last shot. So I feel like one is more dangerous than the other.
All right, good point. We're going to move forward. If you're watching the show, hit the like button. So check this out. I like how we got a little nasty in there. I like how finally got some dialogue, finally got some arguments going on. Now we're going to get into a team comparison. We've done plenty player comparisons. We've actually done a Jokic Embiid. We've done T-Mac, Jason Tatum, Bron, Kobe. things of that nature. But now we're gonna do the Bucks and the Celtics. We obviously know they're playing each other in the next round. So here's how we're gonna do it. I'm going to give you guys a category, and you choose which team you think is better in that category. Here's gonna be the order. We're gonna go Farrell, Ryan, Jeremiah, T-Net, Mars, and then ZZ. You guys remember who's after you, remember who's before you, and then let's get this as free flowing as possible. So the first category, we got star power. Bucks versus Celtics. Who you got, Farrell?
I think I'm gonna take the Celtics on this one.
Ryan?
Celtics if Chris Middleton's not playing.
Jeremiah?
I'm gonna still swing Bucks.
T-Net?
Due to circumstances, I gotta go with Celtics.
Yeah.
Mars?
I got Milwaukee.
CZ?
Due to circumstances, I'm going Boston.
Cool. Next category, chemistry.
Celtics.
Ryan?
Milwaukee.
Jeremiah?
Milwaukee.
T-Net?
Bucks.
Milwaukee.
Bucks. Bucks.
All right. Everybody got the order, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that looked pretty smooth. Let's see if we can keep it up throughout the whole thing. All right, next we got perimeter defense. Let's do it.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Celtics again.
Boston.
Celtics.
Celtics.
Boston.
Celtics.
Perimeter defense.
We just did perimeter defense.
I mean rim protection.
I'm going with the Bucks for rim protection.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Bucks.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
3-point shooting.
Celtics.
Boston.
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 I might go Milwaukee.
I'm going Boston.
Scoring in the paint.
Bucks.
Wow.
Bucks.
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 Giannis.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Giannis.
Giannis coming through with the clean sweep on the points in the paint. Overall offense, which team's better?
Celtics as of right now.
Celtics.
Milwaukee.
Overall offense, I gotta go Celtics. Overall offense.
Boston.
I want to say right now, but that might. I'm gonna go Milwaukee.
Okay. Fast breaking.
Bucks.
Giannis.
Milwaukee.
Bucks.
Greek freak.
That team in Wisconsin.
Bucks with the clean sweep on the fast breaking category. Let's go rebound it. Who y'all got?
I'm still going with the Bucks.
Bucks.
Milwaukee.
I feel like this one could go either way, to be honest.
Yeah.
Celtics are a really good rebounding team, especially team rebounding. I gotta go Celtics.
I feel like Giannis is carrying these categories for the Bucks, so I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
him.
for sure.
I mean,
that's what an MVP is supposed to do, right?
I mean, yeah, he's my MVP.
Yeah.
We got passing/unselfishness. Which team is better at distributing the ball?
Boston Celtics.
Boston.
Boston.
I'm going Bucks.
I'm gonna go Boston.
I'm gonna go Boston because it seems like they finally figured it out.
Yeah.
All right. Toughness/grittiness.
Boston because of Marcus Smart.
Yo, put the words right out of my head.
Yeah, nah. Boston. They got a lot of dogs there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Milwaukee. Y'all forget about Drew Holiday. I'm gonna go Milwaukee.
He's a dog for sure.
I gotta go Milwaukee too, especially they were down 2-0 in the finals and they fought back and win the series. That's gritty. That's gritty right there.
I mean, if toughness includes just being a dirty player, Milwaukee have Grayson Allen, so I'm gonna have to go with him.
That's kind of nasty bars, but I like it.
You got a valid point. I don't know. I feel like Giannis definitely has had so many playoff failures to lead up to his success, that he's finally got that toughness. And Drew Holiday is, a silent killer, and Grayson Allen should be fined every game. But I'm gonna go Milwaukee.
All right, coaching.
Ime Udoka.
Udoka.
Yeah, the Celtics.
I'm picking Bucks.
I got Udoka.
Nia Long's husband, yeah, that dude.
That's
hate him
actually
for that.
kind of funny that you guys choose Udoka and he's only won one playoff series, and this is his first year coaching.
This is his first year.
I think
we don't know if he's
I
overachieving.
genuinely
I
think
think-
Bud
I
is
think
not a
if-
good coach.
I think if
I'm
the
not a Bud
Bucks
fan
might
either.
have-
Dude,
Yeah, Bud's.
I think the Bucks
kind-
might have another chip if not for Bud, if they had a better coach.
That's what I'm saying.
Is Bud
but
out
Mike
of the active
Budenholzer-
coaches? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
Out of the active coaches, is if we're excluding Vogel, is Bud the worst active coach with a ring?
Mike Budenholzer. Yeah.
Doc Rivers is not a good coach.
Doc Rivers.
Oh,
Yeah.
forgot about Doc.
Yeah, Doc
I think
Rivers.
Doc is
Mike
overrated.
Budenholzer's not a good coach. He
Mike
won a
Budenholzer
championship, but
last
he's not a
year-
good coach. In
I
my
agree.
opinion.
Last
I
year
agree.
in the playoffs, there was like 5 times where I was watching the Bucks and I was like, "Yeah, that motherfucker job on the line, and he know it. Like he know it."
Exactly.
Yeah.
If the Bucks
So-
don't win the championship last season, he's getting fired.
So
He's-
turn
it's
out
not-
though,
If anybody's like, "Oh, the Bucks won a championship," they did. But if you were watching the Bucks in the playoffs last year, you knew that motherfucker was
Yep.
sweating, like his neck fat.
Oh my
was going.
God.
Especially against the Nets,
Yo,
his
neck fat
job was on the line,
got
bro.
him.
He's got
His
that KD
job
in his
was on the line.
shoes.
Oh God.
But here's my question to you guys though, because are you guys choosing him in this category, Udoka, because Bud is bad or because Udoka's good?
Udoka's
Oh,
good.
I think it's
Udoka's
both.
good.
I think
I'm
Udoka's
picking-
one of maybe the top 5 coaches in the league, and I think Bud is
Mars,
maybe.
what?
I'm picking
on this
baseball
itty
facts.
bitty
I think-
tiny
No, I
sample
mean,
size,
have you not
he's a
seen what
top
he's-
5 coach?
Based
was
on
the
what
best
he's
coach this
done,
year.
based on what he's proven this year, how
Yeah.
else am I meant to judge him?
I mean, he went
I'm
in
with-
that Brooklyn
I'm with-
and locked
Yeah.
KD shit down.
Mhm.
I'm with Mars. Like
So-
you got to update your resume, and Udoka's been definitely one of the 5 best coaches
Also-
in the league this year. So
I gotta go
Udoka
with-
led the Celtics the best turnaround after All-Star break.
Yeah,
they
best
became
defense.
literally the best team in the league in almost every category after All-Star break.
Well, it's
You have
not
to
even the
give credit to
turnaround from the
coaching
All-Star
staff.
break. The
It
turnaround
was
from last year as
January.
well.
Yeah,
I gotta go with the experience in the Bucks.
yeah, that's fair.
It's fair.
All right, let's reel it back in and do our last core category. We have which team is better overall, the Bucks or the Celtics?
With Chris out, I'm taking the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm expecting no Chris Celtics.
yeah, because I know Chris, I'm gonna go Celtics.
Better overall, I got Celtics, but I still got Bucks winning the series.
I'm not betting against Giannis, so
Yeah,
he,
I don't even blame you.
he makes the team better. In
I
my
don't
opinion.
even blame you.
Yeah, I can't. I'm with Mars. I can't really bet against Giannis. The man. I mean, Giannis. He has something with him. Like he's obviously the leader of that team, but Giannis has a way of understanding when he's got to make his get his teammates involved. I remember that Warriors game, like a few months ago, where they beat him by like 25. They were running that zone, and Giannis was just like, "All right, bet I'm just going to attack and keep kicking it out, and then go in there and score when I need to." So Giannis will probably figure something out against them, though. So yeah, I'm gonna take Bucks.
Okay, cool. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna transition into we all know the second round matchups, right?
Yeah.
We got Phoenix versus Dallas. We got Golden State versus the Grizzlies, the Miami Heat versus the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Bucks. I need you guys to each tell me who's winning the series, why they're winning the series, and in how many games they're winning the series. So first, we're going to start with Phoenix versus Dallas. Same order. Y'all go through. Y'all tell me what's up.
I got Phoenix in 5. I think the Phoenix Suns are pretty much the flat out better team, but I'm not going to count Luka out. He can probably steal one game, probably a repeat of the Nuggets versus Warriors. But yeah, Phoenix got it in 5.
I got Phoenix in 6. I mean, the Suns look not as unstoppable as they did in the regular season. I think Luka takes probably 2 games on his own. Also, we don't know the Devin Booker situation, but Suns overall are a better team, better coach, better depth, more experienced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take the Suns in 7. I think the Mavericks will have the best player in the series by far, which always matters. I think the Suns are overall the better team. They'll probably execute better down the stretch in a couple of these games. But I'm going to take Suns in 7.
I got Suns in 6, and that's only because Devin Booker is hurt. I feel like if he was healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if they swept them. And this is Luka's first time coming out of the first round. He's a good player, but I think this is it for him.
Well, this might be a hot take then, because I got Dallas in 7.
Ooh.
I almost went there.
I've been waiting for it.
I said
Mars.
before the playoffs started, I had Dallas going to the Western Conference Finals, and
Mars, I need a compelling argument from you. Why?
And people saying Mars has been winning this shit so far. So let's go, Mars.
Mars, don't drop the ball here.
No, I think
right now. Jeremy been on all
I don't know. I think I'm high on Dallas. I think their defense is elite. You look at guys like Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jalen Brunson, who I said would be the breakout player of the playoffs. He's playing like it, putting up. I don't know what he's actually putting up, but it's like 20 a game, good efficiency, second ball handler for Luka. I mean, we've seen what Luka did to Kawhi and Paul George. Now he has a second running mate in Jalen Brunson, and Mikal Bridges is an elite defender. But if you give someone to take the load off of Luka and you have guys who can space the floor for him, I don't see it. I mean, Phoenix are going to struggle to stop that offense, and Dallas have an elite defense of their own. And I think when it comes down to that, you look at which team has the best player on the court, and Dallas have that. So I'm going to just lean to them. If it goes down all the way to the wire, I'm going to bet on Luka.
We allowed to make counter arguments?
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm about to go ahead and do mine. It's a counter. You already know that shit.
Yeah, you can go.
I got Phoenix in 6, and I like what Mars said. Obviously, I'm all for a 7-game series, but in this regard, I just feel like the Suns are a team that I've watched since they lost the finals. They've been getting ripped and ripped and ripped by the NBA fans, so much so that they broke out and won 60-plus games this year. On top of that, Devin Booker is hurt, obviously, but I'm not betting against Chris Paul. I'm sorry. Chris Paul in elimination games over the course of the past few years has been pretty damn good. Even in the Game 6 game against Milwaukee, didn't he have 35, 40, something like that? Well, Chris Paul showed up, everybody else did. But the Phoenix Suns are the better team. They are, and I don't even want to say they're the better coach team because I really like Jason Kidd. I really love Jason Kidd as coach. But I just think Monty Williams and what they got over there, they have a really, really good team. I've been saying that all year. So going into the second round, I don't see Phoenix. Phoenix definitely is not about to get bounced out in the second round. To the Dallas Mavericks, who just made it out of the first round for just won a playoff series for the first time in 10 years, 12 years, something like that.
Last time they made it out of the first round, they won the title.
That's cute as hell. This is Chris Paul and the Suns, reigning defending Western Conference champions.
Chris Paul ain't won a title. I'm betting on Luka.
All right, let's see. Let's get it.
We
will be back to see whenever. Don't matter if Martin's right or I'm
right. I went Suns in 7, so I don't think Mars was crazy at all. I just feel like to me it depends on how many games, how much is Devin going to play. Because if Devin's going to play the whole series, I'm going to stay Suns in 7. But if Devin misses a game, 2 games, then we might be getting rough waters. To me, it's really near a coin flip, but I'm gonna stick Suns in 7 right now.
What's the status on Devin? Because he played last game. Has there been any setbacks or anything of that nature?
He had 13 points in 33 minutes, so
he was on I think a minutes restriction, but
he was on a minutes.
He should be good to go, but with hamstrings, they can linger around, and
he
might not be 100%.
I'm saying, so if he ends up missing a game or 2 at some point in the series, to me that's enough to swing it to the Mavs.
I think if Dallas can split
so. Chris Paul,
I'll be a lot more confident.
Talk to us, Tina.
Chris Paul proved himself even without Devin Booker. He's showing y'all what he could do.
He beat the Pelicans round 1.
True.
That was meant to be a sweep.
But the fact that it's proving himself.
I think that's more of an indictment on
everybody started counting him out.
Nah, he was.
Don't do that.
I never bet on them. I never bet on them to lose. But they weren't meant to go to 6 with New Orleans.
People thought it was getting spooky for them.
I think
Chris Paul.
I don't think that was meant to be a sweep. I think people are just realizing that the Pelicans are a little better than maybe.
The Pelicans are a good team, but we saw
the Pelicans are really good
games, and we saw New Orleans make the playoffs. Albeit, credit to them, but they played a Paul George-less Clippers. Like, if Paul George was there, maybe they don't even make the playoffs. So I don't expect that series to go 6 games, personally.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to the next series. Before we do, Pharaoh, you got the end-all, be-all word on this series. What happens?
I just can't see Dallas winning in 7. Like Dallas is good. Don't get me wrong. Jalen Brunson has stepped up. Like all the guys have stepped up, and they have the best player in the series. But like I feel like the
If they
Suns
can't win in 7, can they win in 4?
Dallas wins in 4.
You said they couldn't win in 7. They could always win in 4, 5, or 6.
If Dallas win in 4, Lucas.
If Dallas wins in 4, if y'all can clip this, if Dallas wins in 4, I will sell my house. I will sell my house if Dallas wins in 4. You guys can clip this, do whatever, bro. Like I promise you, Dallas wins in 4, I will sell my house.
Nah.
But like,
If Dallas
I'm just saying,
wins
like,
in 4, Luke is the best player in the world.
Unless
like Phoenix is
suddenly
just deep at every
downhill.
level. Like we saw DeAndre Ayton step up. He had like 28 and 13. Chris Paul had 33 points on 100% efficiency. Mikal Bridges had 31 points. Like we've seen their guys step up. Jalen Brunson did step up too, but like I think the Phoenix Suns just have more options. I can see Luka taking a game, maybe 2. I just can't see them winning the series.
Literally, I don't understand. Like we've looked at the Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs in the past few years, and since Luka's been in the league. And we've said, okay, which player on the Dallas Mavericks is going to step up when Luka needs him to? So when Luka was gone, it was Brunson. Then Luka comes back. Brunson's still doing his thing. Now we're going to need Brunson to keep being the Robin to Luka's Batman. If not, it's going to be the same damn thing where Luka doesn't have any help in the series. I
trust that Brunson will step up, but I just don't think Brunson stepping up equals.
I think even outside of Brunson,
series.
I think even outside of Brunson, this Mavs team is better than any of the other 2.
They got so many options. They got Dinwiddie. I like Spencer Dinwiddie off the bench for them. He's been killer since he's got there. But
yeah,
I'm saying they're gonna have to hope for those guys to just do their thing and help Luka. Luka walked into the playoffs like he had been there 20 times his first time. So like he's already there. He's that guy. But he's gonna need help to beat this team.
They had role players that I thought at least played well. Now, whether they were playing above their heads or not is probably a different discussion. But to me, the biggest difference between this Mavs team is their defense. They're an elite defense. And so,
it's a kid.
Like,
when you
they're an elite
kid, take out Porzingis. Does a lot.
Big Porzy.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next series. And ZZ, you did just drop a Jason Kidd bar. Keep in mind, Jason Kidd has been here before when he had Giannis and a bunch of role players that were kind of subpar. So he's used to a team with a superstar and then other good role players around him. So, this is kind of his second rodeo with a team similar to this. But moving along, we got the Warriors and the Grizzlies. I'm going to go in the same order. I need you guys to give me the same spiel. Who wins? Why do they win? And then how many games do they win?
I might be a little biased because I'm a Warriors fan, but I think the Warriors can win in like 5 or 6, just like I said with like the Phoenix Suns. Like I'm not one to count out Ja Morant, but if the Timberwolves are able to take the Memphis Grizzlies to 6 games, I just don't see the Memphis Grizzlies beating the Warriors, especially with Steph playing out of his mind. Jordan Poole he had good 2 games. His last 2 games weren't that great, but Draymond's been playing excellent defense. Klay Thompson, he doesn't look like his old self, but I mean, he's playing up to standard. So I just can't see Memphis winning the series.
I got Warriors in 5. The Timberwolves honestly should have won that series against the Grizzlies. I've been saying that I was hesitant on the Grizzlies because I thought they were getting this young team hype. They did well, got second seed, but I was just, they're playing down their competition. I think this Warriors team has looked the best it's been since 2019. They look like the best team in the first round in the entire league. That PTSD lineup is going to be getting Taylor Jenkins and the Grizzlies shivers. I think they're going to mop the floor with Memphis. I think they'll get 1 game and Warriors in 5.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm going to go Warriors in 7. I want to advise people against like using how a team played in one round to like, try to guess how they're going to play in the next round. Because especially in NBA history, it's all about matchups. I felt like, and this is why I picked the Grizzlies in 7 against the Wolves in the first round. I just feel like that was a poor matchup for them. I feel like they match up a lot better against the Warriors than they did against the Wolves. So I still, obviously, Steph Curry, he's the best player in the series. So I'm still going to go Warriors in 7, but I don't think it's going to be as neat and clean as everybody wants to think.
Yeah.
I got Warriors in 5. I think it's going to be an easy second round for them. I think Steph gets his payback for getting knocked out in the play-in when Ja did that to him. I think he
Forgot
finally gets his
about that.
payback. Yeah.
It's a little vengeance on the
Warriors in
line too.
5.
It's a little pride.
It's about pride.
I'm also a Warriors fan, but I'm not very optimistic about this series. I think we'll win, but like Jeremiah said, it's about matchups, and Memphis are the best rebounding team in the league, and we're the worst rebounding team still in the playoffs. So I'm concerned about that. I think we probably win in maybe 6, just based off the fact that I don't see how Memphis with their perimeter defense can stay in front of our guys. I don't know who Ja Morant's going to have to guard because he's going to get killed regardless of who he
Hopefully
guards.
Steph.
I mean, then Steph can average 40 and I'll be happy. But but yeah, I do think it's about matchups. I don't think what Memphis struggled to do with Minnesota is indicative of how they're going to play against us. I think we struggle with them generally anyway, before the play and after the play, and we just struggle to beat them. And everyone seems to just make all their shots when they play us. So I got Warriors in 6, but it will be a closer series than I think some people are expecting.
I like that.
Yeah, I got Warriors in 6. Everything that T-Nep said was like kind of what I was feeling too about Steph last year, and everybody kind of was like, and even this year, I think the Grizzlies got one early on in the year. People were like, oh, Ja owns Steph, whatever. But Steph isn't. I don't think so. When Steph said y'all gonna have to see us next year, ironically, him and the Memphis Grizzlies are matching up in the second round. Like, the basketball gods just gifted us that. Thank you. But at the same time, the matchup thing is perfect because y'all do, like, let me make sure we're all in agreement here. If the Timberwolves made it out of that round, they're getting swept by the Warriors.
100%.
Oh, for
sure. I was praying for Cat to not be
I watched the Memphis Grizzlies game. I watched the Memphis Grizzlies game praying that the Timberwolves.
I'm not gonna let y'all do my squad like that.
Oh no!
I forgot you from Minnesota.
I'll be real. I was 100% praying for you guys to win.
No. I'm not gonna let y'all. I would say I was gonna say like Warriors in 6 if against the Wolves, Warriors in 7 against the Grizz. That was what I was thinking before the Grizz Wolves series was over. I think they're a better matchup, obviously, but I'm not gonna let y'all do my squad like that.
I know it's hard. It's got to be hard for a Minnesota Timberwolves fan because y'all like the amount of leads y'all blew in that series, like a 20-point lead to the Grizzlies. Like they came back from that, you know what I'm saying, with time. A 20-point lead to the Warriors is like give them 4 minutes and they'll be down by at least 11. And then from that point on, you just got to hope that the bombs don't keep dropping in that damn rim. But I'm saying, when you look at the Grizzlies series, I'm saying it could go to 6 because the Grizzlies have a better matchup. Obviously, they're probably gonna put Dylan Brooks on Steph like they did last year, most likely. But then you got to worry about baby Steph or Jordan Poole, and then you got to worry about Clay, and then Draymond. It's gonna be an interesting series. But I don't think that the Grizzlies haven't seen the big three. They haven't seen the big three with Jordan Poole. Like, they mostly just kind of got Steph cornered. Now he's got some help. So I'm saying Warriors in 6.
I don't think
Grizzlies let the
played
Warriors.
Klay Thompson in his career, so it was going to be new for Memphis. I don't think they've played us with our.
They ain't played Steph with backup.
Yeah, they haven't.
If they let the Warriors go up 20, it's over.
They're not going to be the Timberwolves. They're not the Timberwolves. Great teams don't blow those leads.
And I feel like that's going to be the problem.
We just dogging on the Wolves today, huh?
No,
I mean,
they haven't seen the big three, Steph, Dre, and Clay. They have not seen them yet. That big three, their win percentage together is like historic. So I don't know.
Yo, so before we move on, Ryan, I want you to give us the end-all be-all on this series. And also, too, everybody chose the Warriors. Why can't the Grizzlies just sweep the Warriors? Go ahead, Ryan.
Keep doing this.
I can't. The Warriors
run.
They just can't sweep the Warriors. I mean, the Grizzlies are great, but like the best player in that series is gonna be Steph. I think he has, like you guys were saying, something to prove against this Grizzlies team. Warriors probably should have made the playoffs last year, got bounced in the play-in. I think they are flowing like a team. Offensively, that lineup with Poole, Curry, Steph, Draymond, Clay, and Wiggins is like historically great. They scored like 70 points in like 40 minutes. They are running the table so far in that first round. They are absolutely killer on offense, and the Warriors are bidding for. I'm not a 3-time champion team's not getting swept by the Memphis Grizzlies. No offense to the Memphis Grizzlies. They just
Full
aren't
offense
on
to
that
the
level.
Memphis Grizzlies.
What?
I said full offense to the Memphis Grizzlies. They don't have a chance. I'm sorry.
I mean,
No,
I don't
like
Memphis
jinxing
is good. They got a good system. I think they still need another legit second star next to Ja to be a true championship contender, but they're not on the same level.
Okay,
And plus, Clay is leading the playoffs in threes. That's so wild. Klay Thompson literally walked back in the playoffs and is leading the entire freaking playoffs in 3-pointers made.
Why is that wild?
That's what people
no, because this is what I was trying to tell everybody before his comeback. We had ranked our top, I think, 50 players in the NBA or top 75. I put Clay extremely high. I think I put him in the 20s or something like that. And Dub almost lost his fucking mind. He almost passed out. And I'm like, bro, Klay Thompson, yeah, he tore his Achilles, he tore his ACL, but his wrist still works.
Exactly.
He can still flick his wrist.
I don't know. People were literally like, oh, well, when Klay comes back, his ACL and MCL, he isn't going to be able to play defense. I'm like, the Warriors don't have one dude except Draymond where they're like, yeah, you go play defense. They play team defense. So if that pass is skipping through the lane, if Klay can still reach out and get that shit, what is he, 6'6"? Like, what? His arms didn't break. His dude.
You know what's crazy, though? Speaking of that, it's crazy how people have recovered from Achilles injuries. Klay. Yeah. Clay's come back. KD's still playing the level. I mean, John Wall hasn't played a whole lot, but he was averaging 18 points in Houston for a little bit. Because I remember when that was all going down, people were saying that was career ending, and we've had a couple of cases now.
It's 2022. It's hell of a time. The medicine world is ridiculous, and the recoveries, and just the rehab. It's like, bro, now an injury isn't as critical to a person's career or their style of play as it used to be. But moving forward, we're gonna get into the Miami and Sixers series. Before we do that, I got a super chat from my man Adam Jones. He said, last time a former coach of a team beat that team, the We Believe Warriors got stomped the next round. They lucky Middleton is out. Eastern Conference Finals, Miami in 6. Well, that's ironic because we're about to get into this right now. Go ahead, start it from the top, my man. Who you got? You know the whole spiel.
I think I'm gonna have to go Miami in 6, just because Joel Embiid is out indefinitely. I don't see Philadelphia taking on Miami without Joel Embiid. The best player in the series is out, so I mean, it just lowers their chances. And we saw what Miami did to Trae Young. They put him in prison and made him look like a middle schooler. If they can do that, I'm sorry, but I'll just keep it real. If they can do that to Trae Young, I'm confident they can do it to James Harden or Tyrese Maxey, whoever's having a good game. We're obviously going to get a good Tyrese Maxey game or a good James Harden game, etc. But Miami's defense plus Joel not being indefinite, I got Miami in 6.
Yeah, as much as it pains me to say Miami in 6. If Joel Embiid's playing, I think this is a different conversation. But James Harden hasn't looked the same since really his hamstring injury last year. Tyrese Maxey, love the guy, but I don't know how much I expect him to take that mantle as the guy, especially with Embiid out. I think they could win a game or two, and maybe Embiid does come back, but holding on the fort for that long without your best player, one of the 3 best players in the league, I just don't see it happening.
With a healthy Joel Embiid, I have Miami in 6. With no Joel, I'm going to go Miami in 5. I think people are underrating Miami a little bit because they don't have a superstar. And so people don't see them being a dominant team in the playoffs. But I think what they did to Trae Young and what they've done the entire season is just indicative of what kind of team they are, just together, just as a unit. They're on a string, especially defensively. I think Coach Spo is one of the 3 best coaches in basketball, if not the best coach in basketball. So no Joel Embiid. I'm going to go Miami in 5.
I got 76ers in 6.
Ooh.
And I guess I'm being crazy, but I know, I don't know for sure, but to me, I feel like Embiid is playing. Knowing based on his history, last year played on the torn meniscus. This year he was willing to play to the end of the season with the torn ligament in his hand. I feel like the only reason he's sitting out game 1 is because of protocol due to the concussion. Else he would have played. He's going to mask up. He's going to play. And we know he's the best player on the court. He's going to provide points. Don't know how much, probably 20, 25 a game. If Miami tried to do what they did to Trae Young to James Harden, they might as well just stay in South Beach. I'm telling you right now. It's not going to go down the same. James Harden is a level above Trae Young. I know we haven't been seeing the same James Harden on a consistent basis, but when
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's still especially now that he transitioned to a point guard, he's no longer a shooting guard in my eyes no more. James Harden is like that.
You're disrespecting Trae Young.
I'm not.
The Trae Young disrespect.
I'm not.
I'm with the Trae Young disrespect. I
think Trae Young is a top 5 point guard. I'm not disrespecting Trae Young.
But you think James Harden's a point guard as well?
I think James Harden is still.
So where's Harden as a point guard? If Trae Young is top 5,
he got to be my top 5 if I got Trae Young in my top 5.
So Steph and Luka are clear 1 and 2, right?
Trae's 3.
Yep.
I think Luka and Trae is a debatable argument.
What? Luka and Trae?
Wait, so then you have Harden above Luka as well. So then you have Harden above Luka as well.
Oh hell no!
Wait, what the?
This is a bad.
Whoa! Did you see what Luka? Did you see what Luka was doing this year? Well, he's been doing his entire career.
True.
Where JD at? I know he's pissing his pants right now.
What's Harden done to earn that respect?
My top 5 would be Steph, Chris Paul, James Harden. Steph, Chris Paul, James Harden, Trae Young, Luka. That's fine.
So Dame's not there. So Dame's not there.
Dame's not here. Dame's not here.
Harden's over Luka, Young, and John Morant.
Yeah, I got him over John Morant. Most definitely.
Oh, are you living in 2017?
Why are you sleeping on James Harden?
No, we're not sleeping. We've been awake and we've been watching for the past.
James Harden has been.
That's the issue.
Did you see when he first came to the 76ers? Do y'all remember? Like he's still capable of doing that.
Yeah, it's a honeymoon period. That's what he does every time he joins a new team.
I don't think Harden.
But if he shows you that he still could do that every time he joins a new team, then what happens?
So do we need to
fits into
need to waive him and then bring him back for the start?
No, he's fitting into the system.
Because he's
fitting into the system. He's playing behind Embiid now. But now that
based on this season though,
watch game 1.
Based on this season though, like Trae Young has been playing better than.
He was averaging under 20 points a game on 40% shooting, and you're telling me he's better than Trae Young?
Well, season wise, Trae Young may have had a better season. So if you want to do it just on this season,
did have a better season.
Definitely. So if we just doing this season, Trae Young should be higher on that top 5 list, of course.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
So if you're not going off based this season, what are you going off?
Yeah.
I'm going based off everything at like
careers.
You seen more of James Harden, especially when he was the number 1 guy, and now he's.
Is Carmelo Anthony still a top 5 small forward?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's disrespectful.
Mars is disrespectful, yo.
It's the same in my head, but it's the same thing.
But that's come on,
bro. What
type
of gas? Gas? I just want to know. You smoking that reefer? That shit.
You gonna see game 1. You gonna see game 1.
Man, hit my line.
He'll be back after game 1.
Bring it back. Mars, who you got at a Miami and the Sixers, and also T-Nup? We all want that line.
I had Miami with or without Embiid, probably in 6. I think Miami aren't a team where I can see them sweeping a team. I just think they're going to have a game where, because I think their offense is so inconsistent, I think there's due to be a game where they struggle offensively and they just can't get a win. And then I think, to be fair, if Embiid does come back, I think he's able to get a game on his own. So I'll give Philly 2 games, but I don't see, with Doc Rivers coaching against Eric Spoelstra, I don't see a way that Miami lose this series.
I was about to say the same thing. Like, I was literally about to say, is it weird that I'm going to say this? Eric Spoelstra's a better coach than Doc Rivers all time.
Oh, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
All right, cool. We're all in agreement? All right, cool.
100%.
From that point, though, into this series, I got Heat in 6. And the reason I say that is because I'm sorry, Joel, and I don't wish injuries on players, but Joel is like, injury prone for some reason in the playoffs, at least in recent years. Like last year, he was injured again. This year, he goes into it with a fucked up thumb or some shit, and then gets elbowed in the fucking face. Now he's got an orbital fracture and a concussion on top of this thumb that needs surgery. Like, how the hell you have that many damn injuries playing against the Toronto Raptors? Like, you went to Canada once, got fucked up, came back to the States, and you got 3 new injuries now. What the hell?
Well, Pascal Siakam gave a
Siakam did.
He shouldn't even have been in the game.
That's Doc Rivers. That's Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers, they're up, what, 19 at that point? Something like that. Like a minute or something.
20, yeah.
He was scared that they were going to blow a lead.
The Cookie Monster. Bro. Anyway, I'm taking Miami in 6 though, because obviously Spo is the better coach. Miami, I feel like Miami's playing with the chip on their shoulder, and they've been doing that since they clinched the 1 spot. But Jimmy, Jimmy obviously isn't like the superstar caliber player that we have when we look at Steph and the KDs and the LeBrons and stuff and the Lucas and stuff like that. But the team that he has around him, they have so many pieces. I just don't see Philadelphia being able to handle that. Bam, literally the defensive switches that you can imagine. If you're James Harden and you're coming up the court, you're getting full court press by PJ Tucker. And then you set a screen. Now you're going to Jimmy Butler. You get another screen. You get to the paint. Now you got Bam right there. Like, I don't know. And then for Joel, I mean, Spo is just such a smart coach, defensively, offensively, with his substitutions. I just think that they're going to get beat by the better team in this series. So you don't need a star power like a Joel or a household name like a Joel and a James Harden. Yep. If you got the better team, you don't need none of that shit.
Well, I think they have the more. Yep. I think the Heat have the better team dynamic, but I think the talent is in favor of the Sixers. I just don't think they gel together as well coached as Miami. The talent I think favors Philadelphia, but in terms of the cohesion and chemistry, it's in Miami's favor.
That's debatable for me. I mean, Miami got Jimmy and Tyler and Bam and Tyler coming off the bench. That's that spicy white boy. Which they got, bro? I don't know.
I feel like if
they got an 18-point per game, the Sixers have an 18-point per game score as their 4th option.
And I like Maxey. Maxey's the perfect little brother to Joel and James Harden, I guess, in that big 3 regard. But this is going to be a testament to James Harden right here, because we've all been saying this shit. We've been waiting for James to show up in the playoffs. Now Joel's out for this game 1. Now either James Harden is going to have 21 on about 27 shots, or he could have a 30-point triple-double, one of the two. But without Joel Embiid, it's Harden's time to show us that he either is still that same killer that he was in Houston, or his days are done and he needs to pass the ball and distribute and get rebounds.
Do you think his numbers in this first round was bad, James Harden?
Yes.
Yes.
His numbers were
yes.
His shooting splits were terrible, but what he did to make up for it by distributing, I was like, that's the James Harden that the team needs. If he's shooting bad, James Harden, if he shoots 12 shots and you make 4 of them, pass the ball the rest of the night. Use your James Harden aura to draw defenses in or whatever.
But now game 1, you don't think he has what it takes to carry an offense?
I mean,
I don't see the score.
All the attention is going to be thrown onto him.
No.
I mean, he hasn't shown himself.
We've seen him.
They're really not acknowledging the Trae Young treatment that he's about to receive, because with Joel Embiid out, he's the main focal point.
But James Harden is bigger and stronger than Trae Young.
That's completely true. But I'm saying they're going to attempt to throw that at him. I'm not saying it's going to completely work, but it's going to throw him off at least a little bit, right?
Quarter.
Someone said that this is James Harden's chance to get Doc Rivers fired.
That's so wild. Well, no, Harden doesn't have to do anything. Doc will just get fired if they don't win it.
Yeah, Doc. Oh my God.
You know what I saw, or I saw? Doc Rivers has more blown 3-1 leads in his career than as conference finals appearances.
Yikes.
Wasn't he named to that all-time coaches?
Yeah, he was top 15.
Yeah, they said he was a top 15 coach ever. That is.
You want to know what it was? You want to know what it was? If Kevin Garnett never said anything is possible, we wouldn't have heard shit from Doc Rivers no more. That's what it is. KG just had a moment, and then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, they got coached by that guy. Yeah, he played in the league before. His son's weird. His son's named Austin. Yeah, Doc Rivers
his son's weird.
Damn, Doc, it's sad to hear it. Speaking of coaches, we have a start bench cut from a super chat from our man Cam Cobain. He said Greg Popovich, Pat Riley, and Phil Jackson. Who wants
All
to
time?
take this on? Yeah. All time.
Yeah, older
We going in
coaches.
order or just
Yeah, go ahead. Let's run through it right quick.
Start Phil Jackson, bench Greg Popovich, cut Pat Riley.
Start Pop, bench Riley, cut Phil.
I'm gonna start Pop, bench Phil, cut Riley.
I'm starting Pop, benching Phil, and cutting Riley.
I'm starting Phil, bench and Pop, cutting Riley.
Yeah, starting the Zen Master, cutting Big Poppy. Benching Big Poppy and then letting go of the slick Rick, Pat Riley.
You just called another grown man Poppy. That's crazy.
Champagne Poppy. What you mean, bro? Where Drake at? Who your top five? What you smoking on?
My top 5 coaches.
Yo, we'll get into that later. Now let's move on to this last, but certainly not least series. I personally think it's the most entertaining series so far in the playoffs, and I think it's actually going to be the best series of the whole playoffs. We got the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Boston Celtics.
People said that about Boston, Brooklyn.
What'd you say?
People said Boston, Brooklyn would be the best series of the playoffs.
Game one looked like it would have been.
Game one, yeah.
I think it still was.
I thought the series was very
still a good
competitive.
series.
I think it still was.
I think it was still a good series.
It was
No,
the
I
most
enjoyed the
entertaining.
series,
Every
but I
single
highly
game of
doubt
that
it's going to be
series
the
felt
best
like Game
series.
7.
Yeah. It was my favorite series first round.
It was
That
definitely
was
the
on
most
my feed.
entertaining. The most entertaining ass whooping. Now, can we get into this next series?
I got the Boston Celtics winning in 6 or 7, most likely 7, just because Chris Middleton's out. I don't want to count out Giannis. He's a 2-time MVP, Finals MVP, Depoy. Like, in my opinion, he's the best player in the league. But the way the Celtics just handled Kevin Durant, and he's like the arguable best scorer in the league. Like, if they can handle Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, I'm not saying they're going to lock down Giannis or anything, but I'm confident in their defensive abilities. And Tatum outplayed Kevin Durant on the biggest stage, like the playoffs. So, like, I'm confident in the Celtics, but it's going to go to 7.
Yeah, I have Celtics in 6 or 7. Chris Middleton really affects a lot of this. I mean, now it's only Drew and Giannis as like the main shot creators on that team. So with Chris, he's the guy that you would give the ball to in late game scenarios, get you a bucket. You're without him for, I believe, the entire series. I think, the Bucks still have the talent to push this to a 6 or 7, but I think that Chris Middleton being out of the series is what's going to swing the series in the Celtics' favor.
With Chris out, I'm gonna go Bucks in 6. If he was playing, I'd say Bucks in 5. I think Milwaukee's the better team. I think Milwaukee having Giannis and the Celtics not having Giannis is thing number one. Giannis is the best player in the world. Milwaukee's had the best playoff defense so far by far. It's not even close, even considering what the Celtics did to KD. And I think that people need to realize Giannis is not Kevin Durant. So it's one thing to be able to keep a guy who's mostly a perimeter jump shooter to, keep him on the perimeter, to keep him from getting to his spots. But I think Giannis is a totally different animal. I think they're going to find that out the hard way. I got Bucks in 6.
You said what? Say that again?
I said Bucks in 6.
It kind of got a jingle to it, huh? Bucks in 6. Go ahead, T-Nap. Talk to us.
That's crazy because we got to get used to hearing that. I got Bucks in 6 too. And I think Jeremiah summed it up pretty well. I got Giannis as top 2 in the league right now, right behind Embiid. I think he's going to pull this off and show everybody why he is top 2, and if not, probably 1. Hands down, I got Bucks in 6.
Yeah, I got Bucks in 6 as well. I think they match up with Boston better. I think Boston are a team, like when we watched Brooklyn series, they were attacking the small players that Brooklyn had. Milwaukee played big. They play Brook Lopez, they play Giannis, Pat Connaughton, Drew Holiday. They can guard. So they're not going to have the defensive liabilities to attack that. That's what they were thriving off of in the Brooklyn series. I think they don't have the pieces to guard Giannis the way they did KD, because a perimeter scorer, you can put Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown on him. But if you have Giannis attacking downhill or getting the ball on the block, I'm not confident in Al Horford to stop Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm just not. I think if we're looking at Boston and just the way they match up, I think their defense is great. But I think the thing we're seeing with Boston is people thought Brooklyn would be better than they were. So we're giving Boston more credit for sweeping the Nets than I think we should. I think the Nets were just an overrated team, and I think Boston are getting overrated slightly because of the fact that they beat an overrated team who people thought were championship contenders. I think Boston are a good team, but the Bucks with championship experience are going to show that with the best player in the world, easily for me, that they're going to win the series in 6.
That's fair.
Yeah, Mars tackled all the points. I think the Bucks are definitely going to – I think Bucks in 6 is a lot more realistic because it still gives the Celtics some games. And I think that they're going to take advantage of, I guess, Chris Middleton not being there. But at the same time, like, for people that were thinking, like, okay, they locked up KD, how are they going to lock up Giannis? They did lock up KD, and I don't know if it was Jeremiah or Mars who touched it, but it was like they were making sure they knew KD's points and his spots. They made sure to either beat him there or make him go there into a double team of some sort, make him pass out of it. So with Giannis, it's a different story because, like Mars said, I don't see Al Horford stopping Giannis. I don't really see – I mean, Robert Williams has a case, but then I look at the depth of the Bucks and what they have, and I know that the Celtics are a great rebounding team, but I mean, the Bucks still have Giannis and Serge and Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis and all of these guys in the paint for interior defense as well as rebounding. So I definitely think that it's going to go Bucks in 6. I think that Giannis.
I like y'all argument for the Bucks, but it's just like for me with Chris Middleton out, like he, in my opinion, is the second best player on the Bucks. So with him out, I feel like the Celtics can really take it. But like, I'm not going to be surprised if Giannis wills the Bucks to win this series. Like, I'm not like full on Celtics completely disagreeing with y'all, but like I see y'all points. I mess with that.
Yeah, I would agree.
Has anybody brought up Drew?
I think Drew's the second best. I think Drew's the second best player on the
gonna-
team, in my opinion. I think he's the second best.
That's
I
fair.
think
But I
Drew's
think
the
Drew
second
always
best
has
player
those
on
like
the court. On the court.
Drew just consistently does
above
great
Jason.
job.
Wait.
Talk about wait. We gotta hear him
Ron.
again.
Repeat
Above Jason
yourself?
Tatum.
I'm not repeating that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. If you heard it,
Nah,
if you heard it, you heard it.
Okay, I was gonna bring up Drew too. I think Drew's more valuable to what the Bucks do than Chris is. I think he has been all year. I think this is the best year of Drew Holiday's career. Actually, I think he's been better than he's ever been right now as a scorer, playmaker, facilitator. There was something interesting as I was doing like my research before the playoffs started. All of the 3-man combinations. So Giannis, Chris, Drew, just Drew and Chris, just Drew and Giannis, all those things. Drew's the only one who's positive in every combination. So Drew and Giannis positive, Drew and Chris positive, Drew by himself positive. None of the other two have that in their back pocket. And so I think that just goes further to my point that he's the second most valuable player for the team. I think he's having the best year of his career here.
Yeah, I would agree. But also another thing about the Chris Middleton issues, who are you not going to throw on to Tatum and or Brown? Because if you throw a Holiday or one of the guards on him, you have that size disadvantage. But and if you take Giannis to put on one of them, then you're getting rid of his best aspect as a defender, which is his roaming, his range, his weak side help defense. So that's where another part where Chris Middleton's game is kind
I
of.
think they're going to be looking to guys like Wes Matthews to take that role.
Defender.
And I think they're capable. I think it's more so. I think the Bucks scheme is just more so about funneling guys towards Brook Lopez, Giannis inside, and then they'll deal with it from there. I think point of attack, it's not going to be a big issue for them. I think they can stay in front of guys to an extent, but it's more so. It's kind of like the Jazz, but with actual capable perimeter defenders in terms of they're just funneling you towards the Twin Towers in there.
Defenders, man.
We're looking at Rudy a lot differently.
And breaking down this series altogether, I think we all know that we're dealing with two teams that are great. They're both playing good basketball right now. Obviously, the Bucks just lost a key component, but the great thing about this series is both teams play amazing defense and they play amazing team ball. So we're really, not only are we going to see good basketball all around, but we get to see the clash of a couple stars, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown versus Giannis, and the second best player on the floor, Drew Holiday. So that's going to be great to watch. I got a couple super chats. Oh, bro, we got to move along. We got to just let that be. We got a couple super chats. One from Alistair. He said, "The Bucks!" ! Bobby, Allen, Giannis, Drew, even Wesley. He came with another one. He said, "And remember, Kyrie ain't played the whole season.
He played the playoffs."
Really,
played all the
the
games.
Kyrie thing has to do with anything we said, though.
Yeah, what?
Boston beating
Probably
Brooklyn, I
always
guess.
talking about Boston.
I don't know. But
No, we can't give Kyrie no more excuses. I'm sorry. That motherfucker, he didn't play the whole season, but I mean, we know. Come on now. Stop. Just
Kyrie plays the whole season. They're probably not going to be in the play-in, but like they're still not.
They had a losing record with Kyrie.
Kyrie had 39 in game 1, and then from there, kind of just like
he had the same amount of points as Peyton Pritchard in game 3. Like, what are we talking about right now, bro?
But Kyrie in game 4, he took 13 shots. Like Kyrie, it was.
How did this turn to Kyrie slander?
Yeah, I don't
know. I respect Kyrie, but like he's saying, like if Kyrie played the whole season, but like we saw him on the biggest stage and he sold. He fumbled. He folded.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I don't know. So we saying Kyrie's not a good playoff performer now?
No.
Don't put words about.
He was saying.
The same people that were like, "Oh, KD's ass." Like, who genuinely would say that Kevin Durant's ass? He had a bad playoff series. Kyrie had a bad playoff series.
Yeah,
I'm saying, what it is. Like the super chat says, remember, Kyrie didn't even play the whole season. My argument is, what does that change?
Seeding.
He plays the whole season. They probably avoid the play-in tournament, but they're still not championship contenders because
they play Philly in the first round instead.
They're a two-man show that have nobody else. Ben Simmons isn't going to play because his mind's weak and his lower back is weak. Like, I really don't understand what that changes besides
stop.
They're like
this turn into man slander.
No, I'm not even slandering Ben.
Bro, Ben Simmons.
Street close Simmons.
Okay.
Close Simmons.
I like Ben Simmons, sir. I'm gonna say
I like Ben Simmons. I just don't know what that changes. Like, I just don't know what the super chat is trying to say.
Well, okay, I'll answer that question.
Ben Simmons, it was just that time of the month every day for him, I feel like.
See, that's slander. I didn't slander. That is slander.
This is getting nasty.
Okay. So
I don't give a fuck.
Go ahead, Jeremiah.
You asked, what does Kyrie having played the whole season? What does that change? I think that changes their playoff matchup, which potentially changes the entire playoffs. I think if they play anybody, not the Celtics, if they end up playing the 76ers or they end up playing somebody else, do y'all really think that the Celtics could have, or that those other teams could have done what the Celtics did? The Celtics were the best defense in the NBA.
Yeah.
So like, I think Kyrie playing the whole year probably means they have a slightly better seed, even if they're just in a different playoff slot, one slot up. The whole thing's different. They don't play the Celtics.
They don't get swept, but if they play Philly,
that's what I was going to say.
If they play the Bucks,
they're probably the smallest team in the East. And if they play Philly, Embiid is going to kill them in ways I don't want to see.
If Kyrie plays the whole season in this hypothetical scenario, they're like a little bit higher, right? So that means they'll either play like they're probably not going to play the Heat. Even if they did, I don't see them winning that. If they play Philly, like Joel Embiid is a top 3 player in the league, like, and they have nobody to guard him. They're not winning that either. And they're not beating the Bucks because Giannis is Giannis. I feel like regardless, they're losing in the first round.
Nah, I feel like hindsight's 2020.
Raptors.
I never been
the only team they were beating was the Raptors. Even then, Kyrie Irving couldn't go to Toronto.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that. That is extremely true.
I think they could beat the Bulls.
Yeah.
Anyone can beat the Bulls.
Well, if they're beating the Bulls, that means they're like a top 3 seed, which I don't see them being.
Well, no, they were. The difference between like 5 and like 1 was like what, 4 games?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I know it's just a hypothetical though. Like,
yeah. I think just one more thing with the Nets. I think hindsight's 2020. We're all looking at them through the lens of having gotten swept already by Boston. Yeah. But like, how would all these opinions change had they, had that different seed and they'd have been playing Philly in the first round?
Yeah.
I just think like I said it before, it's about matchups a lot of the time in the playoffs. I just feel like Boston was the worst matchup for them specifically.
Okay, so my man Alistair came with another super chat, and I think this is to clarify what he was getting at. He said the chemistry was off. So Kyrie not being there threw off their chemistry. They weren't able to perform to the level that they probably should have or could have performed at.
Why was the chemistry off?
He wasn't there.
That was the whole point. That was the whole point of the Nets offense, though. It was so simple that chemistry wouldn't be a problem. It was literally just isolation, high pick and roll.
Yeah,
plug and play. Just
but chemistry's always.
Chemistry is important, but at the same time, it's not. If it was like the Golden State system where you obviously need to play to get well adjusted, well acclimated, I see that more than just a team who is literally go out there. If you're Kyrie, KD, run a high pick and roll, get downhill, pass to someone if they're open. That's literally the Nets offense. I don't
Steve
think
Nash
you have
as a
chemistry
coach,
to play that.
Yeah, Steve Nash as a coach, like, has not really impressed me since he's
He's
been
a cheerleader.
there. And it's because, like,
He's a cheerleader.
This is the same dude that had the 7 seconds or less offense, and he's running ISO ball with KD and Kyrie against teams and thinking like that's going to get them all the way. And then, like, his substitution methods were weird because it was like, okay, since Drummond was out there, like, he would take Drummond out, then put in Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin would have like 5 moments of like fame and then go back to the bench. And, like, Steve Nash just didn't, like, I mean, I understand the Nets were like the most dysfunctional team probably besides the Lakers. Yeah, it was the Lakers and the Nets. They just were so dysfunctional this entire season. They didn't have Kyrie, traded for Ben, never got to play Ben. KD got hurt. Then they, like, it's just, I don't know. They had a lot to handle, but I don't think we can really make a lot of excuses for them or Kyrie or
I don't see chemistry being like the solution to their problems. Like, chemistry might help, but chemistry is not winning them a game against the Celtics. Yeah. In my
I think it was just poor roster construction. They needed some wings. You can't be playing 3 guard lineups against Boston when they're literally their whole game plan is to abuse you with your 3 guards. So they just had poor roster construction, to be honest.
Also, do you think if the Warriors meet up with the Celtics, do you think the Celtics would beat the Warriors?
I'm biased.
The Warriors, but I'm biased. Yeah,
I would take the Warriors. I would take the Warriors.
I'm not biased, and I'll take the Warriors.
Okay, now it makes me feel less biased.
All right, fellas, we got to continue to move along. Our next segment that we're going to get into before we do a draft, you guys please stick around for the draft. And if you're in here, if you're watching this, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get the likes up. Let's run the numbers up today. So let's get into a Q&A. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and you guys give me, your wildest answer to it. I want to know who was the MVP of the first round.
Winner or loser?
Winner or loser, just individually. This is the MVP award.
Jokic.
I can't give MVP to someone who lost in 5. I can't do it.
No,
it's like Jerry West's finals
MVP.
That, but like, I just can't.
If it's not Jokic, if we're going off like a team that won, I'm giving it to Giannis. But like, if it doesn't matter if they won or lost, I'm personally giving it to Jokic. He averaged 30. I forgot what it was, but 30 something and something against the Warriors team and took a game. I don't know, man.
He took a game.
That's
I would say Tatum.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yep.
If it has to be from a winning team, I'm gonna take Giannis. I think Giannis was the best player in the league all year, and the playoffs this first round didn't change anything for me.
I got Giannis too, MVP first round.
I got KD playing for the Boston Celtics.
All right, who's the most overrated team in the playoffs currently?
Oh, currently?
Mm-hmm.
Memphis.
I don't think anyone thinks they're gonna win.
So this goes to
I don't. Overrated. Okay, yeah, that's.
I think personally, I think Phoenix or Philly are overrated.
Well, Philly doesn't have their best player.
I don't think Phoenix.
I think they were losing regardless. So that's why I think they're overrated.
Nah, I mean, we won't know because Embiid's out, but I don't know.
That's a fair argument, Mars, that like nobody expects like Memphis to win. But
Mars, why do you think Phoenix is overrated?
I mean, I have Dallas in 7, so I don't think Phoenix are making out of this round. So I like Phoenix. I thought going into the playoffs, I thought they were going to make the finals or make the conference finals at least. Well, actually, not really. I did kind of predict Dallas. But I think with Phoenix, the issue I have is Chris Paul's getting older. He's never going to shoot 14 for 14 in a playoff game again. Like, I think we all agree he's not going to have a historic night like that again. Devin Booker's injury concerns, but I even if they're fully healthy, I just think the issue I have with Phoenix is it would be rebounding. I don't like them as a rebounding team. I think they struggle. Another issue I have is simply they rely a lot on Chris Paul's creation. And I think if you have a team that can hone in solely on Chris Paul's creation, I think you can limit the Suns' offense. And another thing is I don't like teams that over-rely on mid-range jump shots. I think because it's a 3-point shooting league, I think eventually if you get a lead and you're solely shooting mid-range shots, which are, even though I like them, but if you over-rely, it's still the most inefficient shot in the game. And teams that can shoot threes and make threes in a hurry, you are likely to lose a few games simply by the fact that you got outshot in a game.
Mars,
Yes.
what the fuck?
What?
Okay, hold on. So, okay, hold on.
What the fuck?
So, I'm just, okay, like, okay.
Safe to say he's not a Martian.
I understand, like, you know what I'm saying, certain points, but like, so do you think that Phoenix was doing that mid-range shooting thing like all like from the start of this year, or like you think that makes up their offense?
I mean,
No, I never said it. I said they just like, compared to most other teams, they are more reliant on mid-range jump shots based on the fact that Devin Booker and Chris Paul are both mid-range scorers.
Okay.
It's like, I just think if your two best players, it's the same reason I have a slight issue with KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn. I just don't think teams that rely solely on mid-range jump shots, especially in today's game with the 3-point shot and with the analytics movement, I just don't think you're going to win that way. Like, especially comfortably. I don't think you're going to run through a conference shooting mid-range jump shots.
I mean, hey, that's fair. I don't. I feel like the Suns are definitely the most disrespected team in the playoffs because, like, I mean, they won. If you're making the mid-range argument, they won 65 fucking games shooting the mid-range, I guess. But like at the same time, their system isn't. I don't think it's solely based on Chris Paul and D Book. I think that they're implementing DeAndre Ayton and they've made him look very comfortable. And I'm really high on DeAndre Ayton. Jay Crowder's ass, but whatever. Michael McCollum. Bridges is obviously obviously a very good perimeter defender, and he can shoot that thing. Like they just have so many talent once again, besides Jay Crowder. I used to be so high on that motherfucker, and then now I'm just like, bruh, you're just
Cameron
like
Johnson coming off the bench.
exactly. Give me Cam Johnson, please give me Cam Johnson.
What did Jay
But a
Crowder
lot of
do
those
to you,
guys
bro?
are saying it's a lot of Chris Paul is the one who has to get them the ball. Mikal Bridges isn't going to self-create.
That's the offense.
And I just think a team. It's a similar problem I have with the Mavericks with Luka. I just think Luka's better than Chris Paul. But a team that relies solely on one creator, and when that creator like Chris Paul is a mid-range scorer, I just don't see it being sustainable going like late rounds. I think you can hone in on that.
Wouldn't it be the
Well, a
same
healthy
problem
Suns
for the
team is
Mavs?
2 creators.
Yeah,
not
I said
one.
it's similar with the Mavs. I just think Luka's a better player than Chris Paul. That's the
But
reason.
then what about the supporting cast? Wouldn't you say Chris Paul?
I
has a
like
better supporting cast?
I like Jalen Brunson. He's not better than Devin Booker, of course not. I'm not saying he is. Devin Booker's a great player. I think I like Maxi Kleber defensively, Dorian Finney-Smith. I like Mav's ability to switch basically everything. Maxi Kleber can come out and step out on the perimeter. Dorian Finney-Smith can tag a roll man in DeAndre Ayton. And I think their pick and roll defense is going to be key to that series. And I think most teams, I think Dallas are probably the best team catered to guard the Phoenix Suns pick and roll. And I think that's why
Mars,
I like
who do you
them.
think the best player on the Suns is?
I think the best player on the Suns is Chris Paul.
Devin Booker.
I agree.
I just
I
wanted
think
to
it's
hear
Chris
that.
Paul too.
Oh,
All right. On that
I'll-
note, moving on. Nobody likes Chris Paul stands, so let's continue.
I'm the furthest string from a Chris Paul stand. I'm the furthest string from a Chris Paul
we
stand.
got a couple super chats. My man Noah Bonga said, "Who has more to lose? Reputation, Bucks or the Celtics?"
Celtics. The Bucks won a championship.
Yeah, the Bucks for sure, because they've already won. The Celtics haven't proven nothing. There's not much to lose, and you don't got nothing to have in
Do
the
the
first
Celtics
place.
have a reputation?
Yeah, exactly.
I
They
think
don't.
I think the Celtics are building a reputation.
Yeah, they're
It's
building a
more like-
reputation. So like, if they lose, it's not really like gonna like destroy them. But like, if the Bucks lose in the
Exactly.
second round, coming off of a championship, and you have the best player in the league, I feel like that destroys your reputation.
I
more.
think if the
Celtics don't
Celtics,
have
I
one
think if the Celtics get destroyed, it's the Brooklyn Nets who are hurting in this situation. I think whatever happens in the next
Yeah.
round, I think it's the
Yeah,
Brooklyn
I
Nets.
agree. I think the Celtics are
Questions
playing
gonna
with house
start
money
being
right
asked.
now.
I think if Giannis can show that he can beat the Nets, I think KD has to root for Boston in the next round, in my opinion, because he's going to be looked at even more differently if we see Giannis is able to handle that Boston defense.
If Celtics lose,
Hopefully.
Well,
questions
anybody
will
who
definitely
thinks-
be asked about them, for sure.
I think anybody who thinks KD is better than Giannis is out of their mind to begin with. So
Oh, it's out of mind. It's close.
I would 100% say out of your mind. In my opinion, I don't.
Wait,
think
what?
it's
Tina,
such a-
can you repeat what you said?
I was saying if the Celtics lose, questions would definitely be asked. So like the whole who has more to lose between them and the Bucks, it could be said that the Celtics, because the team could be broken up.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
They wouldn't break up the Celtics unless they
think
got
they'd break up
No.
the Celtics if
They
they
already
lost?
talk
I
about
don't
it.
think so.
They are like
But
the
they already
Celtics.
talk about it.
The Celtics' reputation as a whole, like I guess from how we look at them right now, started back in 2018
This
when they
team's been
first
together
got
for a while.
Jalen and Jason, and then from there they've been moving on with the system of having both of those guys being like double alpha. Even though we all know
They
Jason
moved
Tatum
Kyrie,
is the alpha,
moved
but
Kyrie.
if they go out there and they lose this, then it's like, okay, well, since the All-Star break, we've been really high on you. You went out there, you locked up KD, you locked up Kyrie, you played astounding defense. Your coach is in his first year, and he's doing things that are just, out of this world, phenomenal. But then you're going up against Giannis and the Bucks, who, mind you, don't have Chris Middleton, who may or may not be the second best player, depending on who you ask on this panel. But you could go out there and essentially lose to Giannis, who, like, they're the defending champs. We get that. But the Celtics if they lose, like, there's going to be a whole lot more to unpack there in the offseason compared to
The
Bucks.
question is going to be
No, it depends how they
longer
lose.
can you stay with this core.
If they lose in 7, that's like, okay, it was a 50-50 series. Maybe a couple plays didn't go their way.
Mm-hmm.
If they get swept, you have that conversation. The only way you break up Brown and Tatum at this point is if you do this for another 5 years and they don't win anything, or if you have another season like last year where it's like hell's breaking loose and they're terrible.
I just can't see you breaking up the Celtics after like what they did to
I
the
don't.
Nets.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't.
Exactly.
I
just don't see
understood
an
why
upgrade
they
on
wanted
Jalen
to.
Brown. I don't get
but
what
like what
would be out there to
Mars,
get.
like,
Yeah,
if you're
what
like the
is-
general
what's
manager of the
available?
Celtics, what are you getting for Jalen Brown that's better than Jalen Brown?
Yeah, that's my
Yep.
point. I mean, if
Yep.
Damian Lillard became available and you said
That's a great
Jalen-
I would say
and you
Jalen
said-
Brown over Damian Lillard at this point.
What?
Yeah, I'm
All right, so hey,
No. If we're
we gotta
talking,
move
if we're
forward.
talking about their age and their injury history, Jalen Brown for the future, I'd rather have Jalen Brown.
Okay,
Okay,
for
I
the
see- I
future,
see it.
yeah.
No.
I thought you
Even-
meant like
even-
right now, who's better? You took Jalen over Dame.
No,
But for the future,
even
yeah,
if we're
that's
talking-
understandable.
I mean, also you got
I'm
to
still taking
factor in defensive impact too. Yes, Dame is an amazing scorer, but Jalen Brown guards the best player every night. Jalen Brown guards KD.
Marcus Smart was the
Jalen
defensive
Brown
player of
Smart
the
does
year.
what Tatum does.
I mean, well, yeah, okay, but then all right, now as a secondary defender, you got Jalen Brown now being able to guard their second best player.
Boston
And on
have
top of
enough.
that,
Boston have
being-
enough to
Boston has
But
really
also-
good
okay,
defense.
but
on top
Like,
of
if
that,
they
being able
lose
to
Jalen
switch
Brown,
When we
I
say for
respect
the
what you're
future,
saying,
though,
Ron, but like in the hypothetical scenario, they did get like Damian Lillard for Jalen Brown. That's an upgrade. Like,
Yeah,
even
I
if
think
defense
you have a
takes
better
it,
chance of
it's
winning
an
the
upgrade
title like that.
offensively. It's an upgrade
I don't-
offensively.
I don't-
It's
But
an upgrade overall.
Yeah, because do you guys see Tatum and Brown winning the title?
When you talk
'Cause
about,
I don't see
Mars,
Tatum and
no.
Brown winning the title. So
Okay,
What you say you
if
don't?
we're looking long term, I think Dame and Tatum would make more sense because that team at
Correct.
least has a chance to contend, in my opinion. I don't think
Also,
Jalen Brown and Tatum have a
would
chance
win.
to contend.
If Giannis
if
leaves the
Giannis
East,
died-
maybe.
They
Yeah.
made a conference. They made a conference finals at 20 and 21 years old.
Okay,
They could win the series.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's fair.
I don't see Tatum.
They
and
always
Brown
run into
winning
that
a
one
championship.
person. They ran into LeBron.
Yeah,
Now they run
nah.
into Giannis.
Back to like what Ron said though about like if they like in this hypothetical situation got like Damian Lillard, their offense would increase more than their defense would decrease. I feel like, so like they would gain more than they would lose. Like if y'all know what I'm saying.
Here's my thing about that question. For those of you who say you'll take Jalen Brown future-wise over Damian Lillard, how many years we talking about? Because if you're talking about for the next 3 seasons, I'm still taking Dame.
No,
Like if we're talking about for the
if
next
we're talking
Dame's
5
at
plus,
31, right?
5 plus, I'm taking Jalen Brown because Dame's
Okay,
like
5
31,
okay, but any
32.
less-
I would take
any less than 5, and I'm taking Dame.
Yeah,
Any
but
le-
just
I
if
think
you're
for the
going
next
any
year or
less
two.
than-
I'm with you.
I think 2
Jeremiah,
years to
yeah, I'm
max.
with you. I'm
2
with you.
If
years
you're going
max is
any
Dame.
if you're going any less than 5, that means that you're just kind of trying to bank on at least making it to the finals in that 3-year stretch. Like
Wait,
you're
okay.
going all in for that, essentially. But if you're going post 5 years, that means okay, you can just work like they've been a game away from the finals since 28. Back in 2018, they were a game away. So it's like they have
would have
something
lost.
there, but they're just
They
No,
weren't going to win a
I
title.
I think
The
that
only-
was more. I think that was more a function of the weakness of that conference that specific year than
I mean,
the Celtics
yeah.
being
But
so great.
it's going to be all based on because I mean, obviously we know this Celtics team is way better than that 2018 team, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Yeah.
for right now going into the series is kind of low key, maybe a perfect scenario, I guess, to test and see how good the team really is and how far Tatum and Brown as a duo can take them. But I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
Also, if you're like running like the Celtics team, like, are you trying to win now or are you willing to wait those 5+ years? Because if you're trying to win,
I think it has to be a win.
You think? Hold on. You guys think Dame at like 35 is going to be better than Jaylen Brown at like 30?
No, that's not what we're saying though. But like in the position that you want to win now, which is most likely what the Celtics want, you'd rather have Dame because you know he can do that. Like, I'm not saying we've seen him like go to the finals or anything, but like he's going to like be able to contribute more now. Because also Marcus Smart is going to get older, Al Horford is going to get older. Your team's not going to stay
but they have young guys to bring in, and also
I'm not saying they don't, but like if you're trying to win now, I feel like Damian Lillard is like the clear cut choice.
Also, Damian Lillard has a lot to prove in terms of how he plays in the playoffs.
I agree.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. He's had one good playoff series in the past 5 years.
I don't know if it's a lot to prove though.
It's sounding to me a lot like you would take Jaylen Brown over Damian Lillard right now. Is that true?
I mean, we don't know what Dame's health's looking like, but
oh my god. Are you taking Jaylen Brown over Kawhi Leonard?
I really don't think
that's what I was gonna say.
No, because Kawhi Leonard's a champion. Kawhi Leonard's a champion. Damian Lillard's proven nothing in the playoffs. He hit one shot in the first round.
No, I agree. I think Damian Lillard's an overrated playoff player, but Jaylen Brown over Damian Lillard, that's
yeah, I don't know about that.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm with Mars. Like, I'm not saying like Damian Lillard's some like Steph Curry, but like I'm taking him over Jaylen Brown.
The chat's saying it too. The entire culture of the Celtics is based on their defensive identity, and
exactly. And Jaylen Brown's huge to that.
Yeah, Damian Lillard's a defensive liability.
I know Marcus Smart's defensive player.
You can hide one liability.
The Warriors do it. Like they hide multiple.
Jaylen Brown is really that.
What Dame would do for your offense is take it to the next level. Like whatever is at right now.
Would he though? Because think about it.
Yes.
Just listen to what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
I'm not taking away from any of Dame's capabilities. We all know Dame is the truth. Dame time's really a thing. But I'm saying Jason Tatum just took that level up to superstardom. So I'm like, now are these two clashing, trying to be the number one option?
Tatum should be the number one option.
That's my. You see, now Tatum should be the number one option. But you're shaking your head saying that Dame should be the number one option. And I know Tatum is a confident player. So now how does that hierarchy work? You always got to deal with that.
If they really want to win a championship, they'll put like egos aside, number one options aside, and just be like, let's just hoop. Like,
hold on, I have a question.
It is easy to say that, but like,
how did if Kyrie Irving, we can say what you want. Kyrie Irving at what 26, 27 was with Tatum. And that did not end up well. How is a 32-year-old Damian Lillard
going to work? Doesn't compare.
So wait, do you think
Kyrie?
No, they were the ones.
I feel like that's not a fair comparison.
Kyrie got hurt, and then the next year they had to try to put Kyrie and Gordon Hayward back in the team, and it was just a mismatch of a bunch of players who haven't.
Yeah, the egos. There was a clash of egos.
And
Tatum's not the one. Tatum's not like the type to clash with your ego, though. Dame is not the type to clash with your ego.
Ryan, do you think that if the trade or this hypothetical trade would go through and you take Dame over Jaylen, do you think Dame is going to hurt the Celtics more than?
I don't think he would lift them anywhere. I think they would either stay the same or get worse.
I don't think that they would get worse though, because they've had like Mark said, they've had Kyrie, they've had Isaiah Thomas as a point guard, and back when they had IT was running the show by himself. Pretty much.
They made the conference finals with Kemba.
They didn't have Jaylen Brown.
That was a weak East though when they made the conference finals.
It was a weak East. It was a weak East in 2018 as well. But we're giving them credit for making the conference finals. So it's the same thing. I just didn't.
You can't sit here and say the addition of Damian Lillard is not going to make the Celtics better.
If we're saying
that's crazy.
I think they stay around the same. I don't think they jump a tier because I already think they're at a championship contender level.
Jumping a tier, that's understandable, but like you're saying, like they're either staying stagnant or getting worse, and I just don't feel like that's true. They're getting at least a little bit better.
Are none of you concerned about what has happened with Damian Lillard in this injury? You think he's going to come back and be the same guy? Like we don't.
I think he got surgery, and I think he's
at this point. I think he's been chilling because of the Portland's trying to go for a pick instead of trying to win some late season games.
Also, I'm not really you can watch Damian Lillard play before you trade for him. Like, you don't have to trade for him in the offseason. You could trade for him, like, right before the deadline if it's possible. Like, you have the first half of the season to see if he's playing well. If he comes back and he's playing like, then don't trade for him.
All right, y'all. We got to move forward. Got a couple more super chats. My man Alistair, once again, appreciate you, bro. You coming through today. He said, I got the Warriors taking it all. Pure shooters, pull. Next, Alistair with another one. He not playing today. He said the Suns are overrated. Paul ain't getting no ring. Never.
Never.
That's
my
some
pick this year.
I mean,
got the Suns
this
winning it
is
all.
this is the year.
Like, you must just hate Chris Paul. Damn. Chris Paul
Yeah,
did
that's some Chris Paul hate right there.
Yo,
Oh,
so we got a
God.
draft
Yeah,
coming
that
up.
is.
If you guys are watching the
That is.
screen, you can see. So we got 3 teams. The teams were constructed behind the scenes. You guys didn't even know it. They're already, put together. All right, so we got ZZ. You are going to be teamed up with. Let me see.
Great behind the scenes work.
Yeah, phenomenal.
All right, ZZ, it's you and Ryan.
Word.
And then we got
Let's go.
T-Nup, it's you and Mars, Team Mars, and then last but not least, the 2 remaining cats. So here's what we're gonna do. We got with our draft, we got 3 current players, or 3 all-time players and 2 current players. How we're gonna do it is we're gonna snake it. So you guys are gonna, obviously go every other pick. The first person is gonna choose first, and the second person is gonna choose second. The order that we're going in is Jeremiah, you're gonna go first, ZZ second, Mars, T-Nut, Farrell, and then Ryan. And then we're gonna snake it right back up.
Okay, so what's how many players we drafting?
You guys
is it?
You guys are choosing 5 players.
Do we get to discuss with our teammate, or we just?
No, you can't.
Jesus.
Okay, so
we're
we're
talking.
Okay, so we were choosing 5 players, and 3 of them have to be current players.
No, 3 of them's all time, 2 current.
Is it like their prime or a specific like?
I mean, it will probably be prime. I doubt you're getting
Yeah.
Wizards Jordan.
Okay, so I'm going first then. I could pick any player in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, go ahead.
Hold up. So the order is it's a new order. It's Jeremiah, ZZ, Mars, T-Nut, Farrell, Ryan.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you could choose any player. It's no talking back and forth, and you guys are trying to build the best starting lineup.
Number 1 overall pick. I'm gonna take LeBron James.
I'll take Michael Jordan.
I'll take Shaq.
I'll take Kevin Durant.
Hold up. You guys gotta wait.
Oh,
We gotta type it in.
does he get current Lakers LeBron, 37 years old?
I'm hoping.
Because I'm hoping he does. Because then I think we're winning the draft.
Yeah.
All right, next is Tina.
Wait, who was picked already again?
No, he took KD. We
Yeah.
got Shaq and KD.
Tina took KD.
So I think
You
it's on
taking KD?
Ryan. Yeah, I think it's on Ryan.
All right.
Yeah.
Steph.
No. It's not Ryan. It's Farrell.
Oh, my fault.
I'm gonna go with Giannis.
So is it me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go Steph.
I got a question. Who's on my squad?
So
Me.
far, you guys got LeBron and Steph.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
those are current. Now you guys only got all time.
I thought ZZ and Ryan were on
I
the same
thought me
team.
and Ryan were on the same squad.
Yeah, wait.
Wait.
It is you and Ryan.
So he picked when I said it was Ryan next, you told me I was wrong.
Hold up, let me see.
And how do I
Nice.
got?
Yeah.
I don't get LeBron all time. I get Laker LeBron.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
you get to choose. You get to choose.
Oh, I'll take all time LeBron. Like,
Wow.
I'll take prime LeBron James, 2012, 2013. LeBron James, of course. Why? I thought y'all was assuming that.
So you're
Wait,
telling
so
me
what's the
I
team?
just have KD that just shot 38%. That's what I mean, man.
Okay, so far we got what? Prime Steph, prime LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the team's just flipped now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we need a big. I'm gonna go all time. I'm gonna go Hakeem. My next pick.
Good looks.
It's on me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hold up. Did Ryan just get skipped?
No, I took Steph.
Oh, you took Steph, but hold on, it snakes back down now.
Yeah,
Oh, so-
that's why Jeremiah. That's why
Oh,
Jeremiah
okay.
took.
Yeah. So
that's
then
why. Yeah, Jeremiah. You said Jeremiah and Ryan were on the same team.
Yeah.
All right, so it's my pick again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take Hakeem.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good shit, Ryan.
Good pick, Ryan.
Yeah, good minds think alike.
So who next, man?
It's back on you, Farrell.
Ooh, we got Giannis and MJ. I'll take Kareem. Let me get Kareem.
Amazing pick.
Great pick.
Tina.
Let me get Kobe.
All three of these teams is tough so far, by the way.
Let me get Kevin Garnett.
Ooh,
That's a good choice.
that's a real good choice.
ZZ, it's on you, player.
Who we got on our team? Let me make sure we got Giannis, MJ, and Kareem, right? That's our
Yes,
team.
sir.
I want. Damn, this is actually tough. Shit, fuck it. Current, give me Luka for current. Let me give my point guard.
Good choice. Good choice.
That is a good choice. So it's on me for current.
Yes, sir.
Give me man, that's tough. Damn, I'm trying to think. Okay, so far we got a prime Hakeem, LeBron James, and Steph.
Current Steph,
Yeah.
prime LeBron, prime Hakeem.
I feel like it don't really make no difference. I'm gonna go current Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Current Tatum. That kind of threw a wrench into what I wanted to do, but okay.
Hold on.
the
We
pick.
go in reverse order now because we snake down, now we snaking back up. Or we went down, snake back up, now we snaking back down. So ZZ
Okay.
is back on you.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh, you lost.
They got three people who can't shoot. No, you just picked a bad player. Like
I didn't really.
You had a lot better choices than
No,
No,
this is what
Wilt's
Mars,
bad.
this is exactly what Mars wants. This is
You
exactly
had
what
some
Mars
better
wants.
choices.
Because Mars, you just criticized the Suns for shooting a bunch of mid-range jumpers.
No,
You're
I
a
just
Warriors
hate Wilt.
fan, so
I
y'all
just hate
live and
Wilt.
die by the
Wilt
three.
is not.
No,
good
I just
at
hate
basketball.
Wilt.
Y'all
I'm with you, Mars.
We gonna live and die by that motherfucker today. I'm telling you
Yeah,
right now.
Wilt's terrible.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
he's not that great.
Oh my god! Oh
Yeah,
my god!
Wilt is atrocious.
I forgot.
I ain't
Mars
gonna
doesn't
argue
like
because it's not like any
anybody
of us
in
was
the
watching
NBA.
him.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna argue.
No, Wilt's just bad.
I know Mars' team ain't coming in the paint. That's all I know.
We have Shaq. What do you mean?
I don't give a fuck. We got Wilt Chamberlain.
He's
And
terrible.
Kareem
Like-
and Giannis.
I'll take.
Well,
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
And we
Wilt
got
Chamberlain-
Hakeem.
Wilt
Yeah,
Chamberlain was
you
bench
definitely
guy.
got the worst center here, my man.
We
You got
covered
the
in the
worst
paint
one.
for sure.
Yeah, Wilt is bad.
We gon' see. We gon' see.
Definitely got the worst center here.
You should have took
For
prime
sure.
Dwight Howard.
Oh,
Chamberlain
wow.
is bad.
Over Wilt, yeah, absolutely.
Not y'all
Take
think
Steven
Cavaliers.
Adams over Wilt.
Bro, okay, bro. Bro.
Oh my god.
All right, Mars,
That's
it's on you.
crazy.
Oh, let me get Chris Paul.
Yup, we was on the same page. Yup.
I think we won, but
Kevin Garnett. Let's see what he does against Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Or Giannis.
yeah, Kareem's cool. Wilt Chamberlain.
Don't sleep on
I forgot
KG
we got
now.
5
Let's not forget about the big ticket.
All right, Ryan, you got the last pick.
I got the
Cap it
last
off.
pick.
Think that Kevin Garnett versus Wilt Chamberlain, bro. No way we're having this
No,
debate.
we're going up against
No.
Shaq. You know who winning that.
Wilt is terrible. I don't know. Oh my god.
They got so.
Wilt is
Yeah,
terrible.
Kevin Garnett's a better player all time than Wilt Chamberlain.
Fact.
Oh,
That is true.
What? What?
you know, I'm conflicted between two guys. We're kind of
Wilt is
lacking.
like a myth.
Biggest playoff underperformer of all time.
See, y'all must be a bunch of conspiracy theorist type kids. Cause ain't no.
Yeah, I just
Ain't
know
no
Wilt
way.
Chamberlain's
I
bad.
Ain't no
just-
way he just said that.
Yeah, I think the more you know, the less you think of him. Actually,
Exactly.
The more I know.
I think if you look at basketball reference, he looks cool.
Oh, that's
50 points, 20
Yeah,
rebounds. You're like, cool.
those box scores look real nice.
Yeah,
Nothing else.
Yeah,
does.
like the numbers is cool.
I'll go.
Yeah, he bad.
I'll go Duncan.
Yeah.
I'll go Duncan.
You're going Tim Duncan?
I knew he was gonna pick Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
I
that's
saw
a
it in
good
the
one.
chat.
All right, so check this out. Our teams are Team Jeremiah. You guys got current Steph at the 1. You got Jason Tatum. You got LeBron James. You got Hakeem, and you got Tim Duncan. Team ZZ. You guys got Luka, Michael Jordan, Giannis, Kareem, and Wilt. Team Mars, Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, KG, and Shaq. Chat, you guys let us know who you think won this and who sold.
Well, we know who sold, but
no, we don't. Mars,
I feel
Mars,
like
Mars is absolutely like one of the like craziest people that I've ever been on a panel with. Like my man,
I just
literally-
don't know what you see in Wilt Chamberlain.
yeah,
don't
I think
know
that
what you
Will
don't
take
see
was
in
pretty
Wilt
spot
Chamberlain.
on.
What do you mean? And
He's
to say that
bad.
Kevin-
Wilt
It's
doesn't
just
make
numbers.
sense with Kareem and Giannis.
Wilt
Yeah,
doesn't make
that
sense
too.
the
with
way,
anyone.
no,
And
hey, listen.
MJ.
The way
He's
that
clogging
Team
the
ZZ
way
is
for MJ
constructed is we got interior defense and we got rebounders and we
You
got
can't
scorers
shoot.
at all 3 positions. So we not worried.
Yeah,
about
you're
none
not
of the
scoring
stuff.
outside the paint though.
We don't need to. Hey, did the Suns
We don't
have
need
to
to.
score outside the paint, right? Or they shot mid ranges and made it to 65 wins, right? That's what we're gonna be doing.
Yeah,
We're gonna
you're
be- we
only
got-
mid-range
we got
shooters.
Michael
Hey,
Jordan
hey,
and we got
hey!
Luka.
Just so you know, the Suns were top 5 in the league in 3-pointers made this season.
That's great.
I just-
That's so awesome. I know that. We
I
all
just-
know that.
I just-
But I'm saying,
Alright, Shaq.
according to Mars, they're a mid range shooting team.
Chat, we're gonna let the poll run for sorry, ZZ, I had to mute you. Chat, we're gonna let the poll run for about 30 more seconds. You guys hurry up and get your votes in.
It's looking like
Unmute yourself, ZZ. You good?
it's
No,
looking
just
like I
looking
could count
good
my
for us
first
right
dub
now.
on Player's Choice.
I mean, I like that there's one team that's clearly in last place.
Oh my god. Man. It's all good.
I
They
feel
know
like
that
they
Wilt Chamberlain is fraudulent.
They
Wilt
know
Chamberlain
that.
is fraudulent.
Hopefully, they know that.
100% fraudulent.
That's what we got. All right, cool. We'll
Could've
take it.
went
I'll
for
take
David.
I'll take
Drafting
a
over
prime
here.
Dwight Howard over prime
Drafting
Will
over here,
Chamberlain.
y'all gotta.
And I'm not even a 60s hater. I'm just Wilt Chamberlain's just not that guy.
You just
Wait.
hate Will Chamberlain. I
Yeah,
understand.
because he's not good.
Why isn't he good?
Because he got dogged by Bill Russell.
All
Countless
right,
times.
so-
Bill Russell's way
if you do-
better.
So if you do,
Bill
Russell's
Russell
way
is
better.
so much
research.
better than Wilt
Will
Chamberlain.
Russell is so
Will
much
Chamberlain
better, it's not even funny.
out-rebounded Bill,
Yeah, that's
outscored
cool.
him, and
Mhm.
outblocked him every
Yep.
time. They had to
Nice.
match up
Okay,
so
that's
much
great.
night.
Nice. That's some
And-
great
and
empty
didn't
stats.
Bill
That's
Russell-
some
hey,
great
Saying
empty
that Bill
stats.
Russell with his
Hey.
8 Hall of Famers versus Will.
Name
like,
the Hall of
that's already-
Famers.
Why
Name
were they
the
Hall
Hall
of
of
Famers,
Famers.
though?
Name
Why
the
were they
Hall of
Hall of
Famers.
Hey, we
No,
can-
no,
Casey
no,
Jones
no.
made the Hall of
Why
Fame,
were they
averaging
Hall of
6
Famers,
points.
though?
You know why he was
That's
the
so
Hall of Fame?
wild.
Why
Because he
were
so
they
won
Hall
wild.
of
rings.
Famers?
They won
though?
rings. They
Because
won rings. That's why they were Hall of Famers.
that's why they're Hall of Famers.
Casey
because they were on
Jones
the
ain't no
same
Hall
team
of
as
Fame
Russell.
player. Casey Jones
So,
is worse
so,
than
so
Rebel
let me
Williams.
get this straight.
Yup.
John, so you have 8 teams in the league, and your Celtics team has Havlicek, Kuzi, Bill Russell,
Kuzi retired
Sam
after
Jones,
62.
Casey Jones.
Kuzi
And
retired.
you're going up
Kuzi-
against Wilt
yeah.
Chamberlain.
See, this is what
Why
I
do
mean.
you
Like,
know
you
that,
don't know
bro?
enough.
Because
You don't
my
know
Bill
enough.
Russell
Kuzi-
bag goes deep because I've defended Bill Russell against Wilt
Kuzi-
many
Mark,
times.
He knows what
Kuzi
year
was done after
Kuzi
62.
Bob Kuzi was out of the
Yeah.
league
Kuzi
after
was
No, I'm
done
sorry.
after
If you
62.
If you're an NBA fan and you research the 60s, if you don't know that Bill Russell had clearly the best team in
do you
the
know that?
entire league.
Yeah, but you know that from like 57 to like 68, you know, Bill Chamberlain's and Bill Russell's team had the same amount of All-Stars average per year. They both averaged around 3 All-Stars.
So
this
name
season.
the All-Stars.
So because they made
Will's
the Hall
team
of
that are
Fame.
Hall of Famers to
No,
this day,
but so because they
besides
made
Taylor
so
and
because
Jerry
they made
West.
so because
They
they
made
made the Hall of Fame because they won championships in which Wilt's
because
teammates
they were on
couldn't
Bill
do
Russell's team.
because Wilt's team was bad because Wilt
We're
Chamberlain
really
was not a winning
arguing
player.
Bill Russell
Oh
versus
That's
my
why.
Wilt
God.
Chamberlain.
So they
bro.
weren't
This
Hall
is
of Famers
crazy.
due to the fact that they played with Wilt Chamberlain.
So
They were All-Stars when they played.
Are John Havlicek, Bob
John Havlicek's
Cousy, and the
great.
rest
John
of the people that I
Havlicek's great.
named, Are they not? Were they
No,
not better
John
than
John
any of these teams
Havlicek,
before that?
John Havlicek, Tom Heinsohn, Bob Cousy, elite great players for their time. Bob Cousy
Right.
retired in '62, so
Right.
I'll leave that.
What's the
But he
debate
didn't
here,
play the
though?
whole time. Bob Cousy, cool. John
Okay.
Havlicek, cool. He was great.
Right.
Tom
Right.
Heinsohn,
No, keep
great.
going. Keep on going. Keep on
But
going.
Jerry West and Elgin Baylor were top 5 players of the '60s.
How
No
good?
debate.
No debate.
And
No
Wilt
debate.
Chamberlain played with both of them. So John Havlicek
Yep.
isn't better than Jerry West.
Bro,
John Havlicek
I'm
is better than
convinced.
Elgin
I'm
Baylor.
convinced
Yep.
Mars was
Yep.
there
Neither,
watching.
neither's Tom Hanson. So I don't get how we're going to say Wilt had more help based on Hall of Famers when they
I
were
mean,
Hall of Famers
so
based
let
on
me
the
get
fact
this
they won
straight.
7 rings.
Who do you think was a better player, Will Chamberlain or Bill Russell?
Bill Russell easily.
Bill Russell.
100
Why?
times up. Because
Why?
he impacted winning at a level Wilt Chamberlain didn't. Wilt Chamberlain was the king of
100%.
empty stats.
And also, when they played
Correct.
against each other, Bill Russell held Wilt's averages down significantly.
Bill Russell, Wilt
when they played
Chamberlain,
against each other,
in the year Wilt
100%.
Chamberlain averaged 50. When he matched up against Bill, he averaged 34, and his efficiency was even lower. Wilt Chamberlain scored a lot of points. They impacted absolutely nothing. There was a year he was averaging 39. His team had the worst offense in the league. It was just empty stats. That's all it was. He never
All right,
passed
so
the
Bill
ball.
and Will matched up against each other. Will averaged 30 and 28
Yeah, empty
rebounds.
stats. They were
and
great
4
empty
Yep.
assists.
And what was that
Oh,
win?
wait, he
Hey,
didn't
hit me
before
with
the
that
box
win-loss record.
So,
Yeah,
real quick.
that was
Hit me with
great
that
empty
win-loss
stats.
record.
It was great empty
Hey,
stats, no doubt.
hey,
yes, the
Hey.
win-loss record. Who had the better team? Once again, this is what
Why
we've been
did
establishing
Bill
right
have the
now.
better? Why did
Who
Bill
had
have
the
the
better
better
team?
team?
Who had the better team?
Bill had
Why
the
did
better
Bill
team because he was the better
tell me
player.
why? Tell me why Bill's team was better.
Sam Cassell.
Bill had the better team.
Jones.
All right, this is all coming to an end. Next episode, we'll start with the Bill Russell debate, or with the Bill Russell debate, or Wilt versus whoever you guys want to. I'll settle the debate. Wilt had empty stats. Bill had empty rings. All right, it's over.
Stop it.
It was
Stop
it
it.
was good. It was good for y'all to come through. I appreciate everybody tuning in. On your way out, hit the like button, and
Hit the
remember
likes.
tomorrow, that's May 1st. We will be on at 10:30 a.m. You know, with you guys' most loved cast, same panelists. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. You guys want to drop your socials one more time before you head out? Go ahead, Farrell.
Mine's Yalviz, YALVIS. Go follow me. Check me out.
Yes, sir. Ryan.
It's hendog_ on TikTok. It's hendog on Twitter.
Right.
Mine is smart takes on everything. Smart takes.
See that?
TNEP418 on Twitter and Twitch.
Yes, sir. Mars. I mean, you know, they know you, but might as well.
I don't know my socials.
Oh, okay.
I got a question.
What's up?
Could we do that? Your starting lineup for the teams that was eliminated? I thought that